Welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is Xoxo Tarot, and in today's Pick a Stone reading, we are going to be getting channeled messages and advice directly from your spirit guides. So before I get into the video today, I quickly just want to say thank you so much for 300,000 subscribers. That is like so insane to me, and I am just ridiculously grateful to have every single one of you here and to be a part of your life and to be able to channel for you. I'm not gonna get sappy and emotional, I promise, but it really means a lot to me. Every single one of you means so much to me, and I just want to thank you so much for the love and the support and all the kindness that you all send my way. So thank you so much. So this reading I figured would be a great one to kind of celebrate because it is your guides that help me out so much and give me all the information I need to help you. I did want to say though, I was in the middle of another video when, Spirit just kind of gripped me by my spirit balls and was like, no, you need to do this right now. So for those of you that were asking me about doing an updated, current feelings video, that will be coming next, but I had to do this one because it just like kind of came out of nowhere and I was like, I need to do this. Okay, so we have 4 piles for you guys to choose from today. Starting with pile 1, we have the Affirmators Tarot with this, okay, let me see if I can say it accurately, Golden Healer Dendritic Quartz Tower. That is a mouthful. And then for pile 2, we have the Good Tarot with this Fluorite Unicorn. And then for pile 3, we have the Ember and Aura Tarot, as well as this Rose Quartz Angel. And then finally, for pile 4, we have the Apparition Tarot with this Labradorite Sun and Moon. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to decide which pile you feel most drawn to. This is a case where it is absolutely okay to be drawn to more than one pile. You could have multiple guides coming through that want to say things to you. You could have multiple messages that want to come through. The biggest thing I will say is that this reading is timeless. So if you find that you watch this video and resonate with one pile at one point in time, you may find this video follows you again and you resonate with another pile or feel drawn to another pile at that point in time. So don't feel like just because you've seen one pile there aren't any more messages for you. There may be more in time, or you may have multiple to listen to right now. It is really up to you. No extended today, just the main video. So once you have picked your pile or piles, you can go ahead and scroll down to the description box or the comment section where I'll have all the timestamps for each pile listed below. Once again, I just want to say thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for trusting me to read for you and giving me the opportunity to read for you. I love you guys so much, and I'm just so grateful to be able to be here and to do this, and y'all keep me going, so thank you so much. So I'm gonna stop blabbering and gushing and go ahead and get into the readings now. So once you've picked your pile or go find your timestamp and I will see you there. Hi there, pile 1. If you guys chose the stone with the really long name, this is going to be your reading all about what your spirit guide wants you to know, what messages they have for you. So we're going to be using the Affirmators Tarot for that. But first I want to see who this spirit guide is. I'm actually going to I'll show you this paper in a second. You may know who this spirit guide is, you may not. I will say when it comes to spirit guides, some of them are with us for our whole lives. Some of them are with us for predetermined periods of time. Some join in randomly. So if you don't recognize this spirit guide, don't worry. Just because a guide that you may be thinking of isn't coming through doesn't mean you don't have tons of other guides that love you so much and have messages for you. So let's see who this spirit guide is. So to start, we have the Shadow, and we have Capricorn, I use. We have the Warrior. We have the Nightingale Spirit, love is all around. we have I Am Worthy, number 3, and we have Wunjo, Joy and Harmony. So, wow, okay. This guide has a very, very strong energy, and the interesting thing about it is that they're always around you. I definitely think that this is one of your main guides, but you may not realize that they're there. They kind of have this stoic energy to them, but it's not because they're like, they can be animated when they want to, but it just kind of seems like this is a strong, almost a strong but silent force in your life where you may not always see them, but they, like, I'm kind of overwhelmed by how much they love you and how dedicated they are to helping you grow along your journey. So you may be going through a tough time right now, but even if you're not, this is a guide that is specifically dedicated to helping you grow through what you go through. With the shadow card being here, this is a guide who supports you at your darkest times, supports you even when you feel like there's no one around you, especially with this love is all around. This guide is always there, like always protecting you, always watching over you, even if you don't realize it. Some numbers that are standing out to me, the number 22 could be significant, or the number 41. I did want to say with the number 41, it kind of makes me think of both the Emperor and the Magician. I feel like this is a very powerful guide that is pretty masculine in nature, but they don't have to be. And when I say masculine, that doesn't mean that they're a male guide. They could present as a female guide and have a masculine energy, but really guides are, I'm getting lost, but in technicals, but essentially this guide does have a more masculine energy. And with the Warrior card being here, I feel like this guide is a guide that has incarnated in lives as a warrior or just has a warrior-esque energy to them. They're here to help you fight your toughest battles, and they're kind of like the guardian angel that watches over you even when you don't realize they're around. Like when you're going through I'm hearing right now that quote that's like, God gives his silliest battles to his toughest clowns. I feel like this guide may have a sense of humor that comes out every so often, and you may not even be able to pick up on it, but this is a guide that pushes you to be better and is pushing you to help you, like I said earlier, grow through what you go through. So when I was looking at your oracle cards, I had a quote show up, and I actually didn't even realize it's from the Bible, but it's Psalm 23:4, and it says, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." So I'm going to leave this here. So this guide is with you through everything, through your high highs, your low lows, but especially during the low times in your life, because I think you may struggle at times, especially when you're not doing too well, to tune into your environment or recognize that there is more around you supporting you than you realize. I feel like this is a guide that kind of has a tough love energy to them, where they don't necessarily, they're not going to tell you platitudes. They're not going to tell you what you want to hear. They're going to tell you what you need to hear. They're going to guide you through things. They're not going to guide you to avoid things. This is a guide that doesn't take BS. Like, they expect the best from you and they know what you're capable of. So at times when you feel really frustrated or you wonder why you're being guided in difficult ways, or it seems like you're facing these challenges, this guide is almost kind of helping you through these times, because not only do they know that you're capable of getting through them, it's getting through these challenges that are going to lead you to your greatest happiness. And that might sound a little confusing, like, why would I have to go through struggles in order to find joy? And it's more so that this guide is really responsible for your character development, for your ability to withstand life, because life is hard for everyone. Like, nobody goes through life unscathed. And this is a guide that's here to be with you in your darkest hour, in your darkest times, and celebrate with you in your lightest times. Like, this is a guide that kind of just gives me an energy where they it's like one of those, I can't think of like a specific character from a show, but like that kind of archetypal coach or mentor figure that's really like tough on a protagonist and really tough and has like very high expectations of a protagonist. And when the protagonist like pulls through and succeeds, then they kind of relax and they soften and they kind of show their kinder side. So I kind of feel like that guide is like that, but in the most unconditionally loving way possible, where this guide really almost kind of hangs out in the background because they need you to recognize your own strength. They need you to recognize how capable you are of overcoming the challenges that you face, especially when it comes to work life. Like, it seems like you have a really strong work ethic, and I think that's something that you either a quality that you share with this guide, or a quality that this guide really loves about you, so that may be a reason why they picked you. If you are a Capricorn, that could be like a confirmation that maybe you and this guide share Capricorn energy. I do get an older masculine energy from them, but they, like I said, they certainly don't have to be. But I feel like this guide is pushing you to recognize love even in places where it's hard to see it. This guide is pushing you to be your best self. And like with the light attributes of the warrior, strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will, heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice, and conquering the ego. Like, this guide is a guide that is never going to feed into any ego delusions or allow any ego delusions of yours to go too far. You might find that you get more rude awakenings than maybe other people, and that is only the case because this guide almost expects the best from you and knows what you're capable of, and they refuse to let you not succeed. And I will say that, like, when it comes to spirit guides, even though this guide is very active in your life, but in such subtle ways that you may never realize it. Like, I don't want you to be frustrated at this guide, although they understand if you are. But they're trying to get you to understand that the challenges that you face in life are only shaping you into the person you need to be in order to achieve what your soul purpose is, what your purpose on this life is. You know, we have multiple purposes, but whatever you came to this earth wanting to do, this guide was committed to helping you with that. I honestly feel like this is a very impressive guide. And they're also here to help you work through your shadow so that you can utilize your shadow aspects as well. This is a guide that is like not gonna let you suffer from like Peter Pan syndrome. You know what I mean? This is a guide that's going to help you grow into your adult self, your mature self. And it doesn't matter how old you are, but you know, maturity is kind of a process that never really ends, right? And so this guide is here to help you along as you mature. And not only that, help you face life in a way that is in alignment with like your soul family. I feel like your soul family has a lot of integrity and a lot of courage. And I think that there are particular values in your soul family that maybe resonate with like your 3D family as well. And that may be exactly why you have this family, where you may have chosen to go through more difficult experiences in life, or chosen to take on a lot of challenges that relate to soul growth so that you could ascend a lot in this lifetime. And so I feel like this guide is here to help guide you along the way, the entire length of the time you're hanging out here. And this guide is also a warrior in the sense that they are not afraid to play dirty when it comes to people that want to get in the way of your soul's path. I feel like you have a very focused and narrow like perspective sometimes, and that's not a bad thing. I think it's really helpful in terms of accomplishing your goals and setting out and going out and doing what it is you want to do. But sometimes you may be oblivious to like people that aren't really aligned with your highest good, or oblivious to things in your life that may be bringing you down. And so I do feel like this guide has a way of removing obstacles that are not serving you if they can have control over that. Sometimes they'll bring them to your attention, and other times they'll remove them completely without you knowing. And you'll almost wonder why things feel a little bit lighter, a little bit easier. It's definitely this guide coming through because they've like fought off some battles for you. Like they're fighting in the spirit realm the same way you're fighting in the earthly realm, and like you both are working together. It's actually like really beautiful. Like you both work in tandem, and this guide wants you to know that it is the parts of yourself that you maybe don't like, or the parts of yourself that you wish you could change, or the parts of yourself that you're working through that are also parts of you. And they want you to, one thing that they're trying to do is to help you look at yourself in a more holistic way and recognize that you have strengths and weaknesses, and neither like with those strengths and weaknesses, like the weaknesses do not outweigh the strengths. Like you shouldn't feel bad for your weaknesses. Like you should recognize your weaknesses and work through them. And with your strengths, you know, play to your strengths, utilize your strengths. I feel like this guide is very strategic, and they're working on helping you with strategy. I also think that this guide likes to communicate to you through music. One song specifically that keeps coming through is Gangster's Paradise, I think it's called. I hate to admit it, but like also the Weird Al Yankovic version of it that's like Amish Paradise is coming through as well. So I do think this guide has a sense of humor, but I also feel like this guide has a very like serious energy to them, where they are here to help you, and like they don't want to waste your time. Like they want to help you ascend along your path as much as you're willing to work with them. They're here to really develop you. It's like giving me Karate Kid energy. Like this guide is almost kind of like, is it Mr. Miyagi? Is that his name? It's giving me kind of that, like the mentor in that movie, and you're like the Karate Kid. It's kind of like that. And all the challenges that you're going through, essentially this guide wants you to know that like they're supporting you through all of them, even if it's hard to feel them sometimes. I will say they do speak to you through music, and I do think as well that you could hear their voice sometimes. Either like on the radio, or because it seems like they speak through people. But I also think their voice might pop in your head sometimes and like give you some kind of sage and wise advice. But this guide is also here to remind you that even though you may not feel them, even though you may not realize they're there, doesn't mean that they're not. And during times when you feel really low, when you feel really frustrated, just know that this guide is here, and you can always call them in to kind of comfort you. You can call them in to kind of show their presence more, maybe give you a sign. Nightingales and goats could be, oh my gosh, of course this guide would come through as a goat, because they see themselves as the goat, greatest of all time, and they're helping you become the goat, the greatest of all time. And like that is they're not here to baby you. They are here to help you grow, to help you achieve, and they're gonna do that by having you face the challenges that come your way and not avoid them. So honestly, this guide is really badass and really, really loving, and it's just that they express their love in less overt ways. It's kind of a more like I love you, so I'm going to help you through things rather than shield you from them, because that's not going to help you grow in the long run, if that makes sense. This could also be a Christian guide, even if you don't identify like as a Christian or vibe with Christianity. Like me, for example, I don't identify as a Christian, but I do have Christian guides. So, you know, sometimes they can have their own leanings and stuff, but let's go ahead and see what they want to say to you, what their message is for you. So you guys chose the Affirmators Tarot, which I think is really interesting to have such a serious guide come through, because this deck is like adorable. So we'll see what comes through. But I also did want to say with I Am Worthy, this guide doesn't guide just anyone. Like, they viewed you as a worthy person of guiding, and there's almost kind of like a, ooh, like Pal 1's got like big spirit balls. Like, this guide was like, I want to guide Pile 1. Like, they're impressive. And your ambition, your drive to succeed, these are things that this guide really admires and enjoys helping you with, and they enjoy being a part of your path. And I think that they're honored to be guiding you in this lifetime. Okay, so what does this spirit guide want to say to Pile 1? What messages? Okay. We have the 9 of Cups, the 7 of Wands, the 2 of Cups. Hearing the song Dynamite by something Cruise, like Tao Cruz or something like that. Interesting song choices coming through. We have the Knight of Swords. We have the 6 of Cups. And back of the deck energy is the 6 of Wands, but I am going to get some clarifiers. So I just want to clarify the 2 of Cups. Clarify the 2 of Cups for me, please. We have the High Priestess. Okay. And what about the Knight of Swords? Clarify the Knight of Swords for me, please. Clarify. Okay, wow, we have the Magician and the Chariot. And underneath the 6 of Wands, we have the Queen of Wands, which I kind of just want to put here. So maybe you're a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or maybe this guide is a fire sign or works in tandem with a fire sign type guide. But essentially, the cards here are kind of reiterating exactly what I was already telling you. Because I feel like this guide really just wants you to understand them and their energy more. Because there may be times when you actually, they want to keep this like in frame. So I'm gonna put that there. But essentially, this guide is here to help you accomplish your dreams in this lifetime. And they want you to know that like, your wish is their command. Like, they almost kind of are like a genie in that sense, but they're not a genie that just gives you what you want. They're a genie that shows you how to get what you want, but it may not be easy to get that. So they're there to help and guide you through all the challenges that come with following your dreams. With the 7 of Wands here, I mean, like, look at how similar this Warrior card is to the 7 of Wands. Like, they acknowledge that the challenges that you face aren't easy, and they acknowledge that at times, like, they understand why you might be frustrated with them, or why you want to give up, or why you feel like life is constantly a battle. And it's almost kind of because it's part of your soul mission. It's part of what you're here to do in this lifetime. And they want to assure you with this 6 of Wands here that you are going to be victorious, and they want you to be confident in the fact that you will succeed, even though sometimes you will feel burnt out, you will feel frustrated. But with this 2 of Cups being here, I feel like this guide like really, really loves you. And you guys are, I think that you and this guide are pretty close soul family, especially with the 6 of Cups. For some of you, this could be a parent or grandparent that passed on, but they certainly don't have to be. I feel like no matter what, like you and this guide have been incarnated at the same time before. You could have even been in a relationship together or something like that, but I literally feel like this guide is so dedicated to your success and feels very, very fondly for you. They're very proud of how far you've come, and they were definitely less around when you were younger because their job is more so to help you grow and less so to like play with you in your childhood. So they feel very grateful to be a part of your life and to be a part of your journey. And they want you to know that you don't need to doubt yourself. With the Two of Cups being here and the High Priestess, you know what the right answer is. Like, and I don't know if you were asking a question coming into this reading, but I think in general, when you don't know what move to make or what to do, this guide is saying you know what to do. You know what's expected of you. You know what you expect of yourself, because I do think that you have a very strong moral character. You have a very strong outlook on yourself, a very strong opinion of yourself, and just a very strong personal code of like morals. And so I feel like this guide is saying you can trust yourself to follow what feels intuitively right for you. And not only that, with this Two of Cups being here, like this guide is saying, I'm never going to give up on you. I love you. Like, and you may feel like sometimes, you know, if you make the wrong decision or if you make a mistake or if you fail, that is evidence of the fact that you're not worthy. And this guide is saying no. Like, first of all, our failures are opportunities to grow, and we learn so much more from our failures than we do our successes. And it is our failures that will help lead us to our successes. You cannot expect to succeed all the time, every time. That's just how life is. But one message that I'm getting in particular is to be very careful about what you say, especially with what you say to yourself and what you just put out there into the universe when it comes to using your words. Because with the Magician and the Chariot clarifying the Knight of Swords, I feel like this guide is saying that your words hold a lot of power and that you have the ability to easily manifest with your words and with your thoughts. And if you're thinking too chaotically, or you're too zeroed in on, like, you're too focused on, let's say, like a negative energy, it's going to be harder for you to get out of that, if that makes sense. And I do want to say, like, never feel bad for any like intrusive thoughts or negative thoughts you have. Like, that's normal. That's just life. And sometimes we are just more negative. Sometimes we don't feel too great. And sometimes life is hard, and it's hard to get out of bed and just be like, yeah, everything's amazing. Like, you know, you don't want to be leaning into toxic positivity territory where you're not acknowledging the shadow, you're not acknowledging the difficult aspects of life, but this guide is coming through to remind you that even when it's difficult, like, you persist, you proceed. Like, you can be realistic and still be optimistic with that realism. Like, I'm going through a really rough time right now. I'm not feeling too great, but I trust that, like, I will get through it and that things will get better. Like, you don't even have to, like, say, like, affirmations that are like over the top, like, I am amazing, I am the best, most perfect little sunshine rainbow in the world. Like, you can literally just say, like, I have things I need to work on, I am growing, I am evolving, and I am doing my best. Like, I am doing my best, I think, is the best thing that you can tell yourself, actually. And if you can lay your head on your pillow at night and say to yourself, like, I did the best I could today, and that is enough, I think that is going to be the most comforting thing. I want to cry right now, but, like, this guide really wants you to know that whatever is your best, that is enough. If your best is just getting out of bed, that's amazing. That's enough. You don't need to be so hard on yourself. But they're making you aware of the fact that you are a natural manifester. And so with this Chariot card here, sometimes you might feel like it's hard for you to move forward because you're dealing with the light attributes of you and the shadow attributes of you, and they're almost at odds with each other. And so it kind of, you might feel like sometimes there's a tug of war going on internally with you, where you're trying to move forward, but you're struggling with your attitude, or you're struggling with your energy, or you're just struggling in general. And so this guide is saying when that happens, that's when you want to focus on a clarity of perspective and where are you going moving forward. So like when you're struggling with those two sides, how can you be realistic and productive with your perspective? So when you're really struggling, that's, I'm doing my best, this is all I can do today. You know, put that stuff down on paper, write reminders for yourself, like, hey, I'm doing the best that I can, like, I'm doing okay, I need to stop being hard on myself. Like, if you can write down reminders, that will be really, really helpful for you. But with this Six of Cups card being here as well, I feel like this guide is saying, you know, as you mature, as life happens, you're gonna look back and at times be frustrated with yourself because you didn't embrace the moment more. And this might be a frustrating message to hear, but this guide is encouraging you to embrace the moment despite the negative feelings you might have, despite the worry that you might have, despite the fear that you might have, because the present moment is only there for a fleeting moment, literally. And I feel like this guide is trying to remind you that we don't always have everyone forever, and it can be very easy to take our present for granted. You know, at every stage in life, we always have something and then something that we don't have, you know, like what's that phrase? Like young people have energy and time. Adults have money and energy, and elderly people have like money and energy. I mean, money and time, but no energy. So yeah, it's like when you're young, you have time and energy, but no money. When you're an adult, you have money and energy, but no time. And when you're elderly, you have time and money, but no energy. I mean, obviously that's like a huge generalization and not necessarily true, but like the point of me saying it is you're always gonna have something that you want but don't have, but there's always gonna be more that you do have to embrace. And while that may not help what you're feeling, it may not change anything, at the very least, it can anchor you in that comfort of recognizing that you're not taking what's happening now for granted. And I feel like this guide is just saying, you know, if you feel like your progress is slower, if you feel like you're being slowed down, like that is for a reason, and it's not because you're failing or you're losing. It's just because you need to rein in your energy a little bit. They don't want you to move forward and miss something. You know what I mean? It's like you're in alignment. You don't need to be so hard on yourself. But the one thing that you do need to recognize is that you don't have to have everything figured out. You don't have to have your whole life mapped out. All you need to know is that success is assured for you. But they want you to continually remind yourself what success actually is for you, because success is subjective, and they don't want your viewpoint of success to be materially based. They want your viewpoint of success to be, how did you grow? What did you learn? Who can you share this with? What experiences did you have because of this? Like, the true value of the life lessons that you're going through right now is that you're living. You're not existing, you're living. And you're going to have such an enlightened perspective, and you're going to be able to help so many people because you didn't cut corners, you didn't settle for less, you didn't give up on your dreams. Part of your success is just not giving up. And I feel like this guide is here to remind you that, like, you're not allowed to give up. You're not allowed to settle for less. You're not allowed to make yourself small, because they're here to fulfill your ambitious wishes. That's fun to say, ambitious wishes. And they're not going to let you fail. So it's like they want you to feel confident in the fact that you can and will succeed, You just have to remember to redefine your definition of success when it doesn't feel fulfilling, and look for the signs of success that you may not be seeing. And I also think that you may be impatient sometimes with how quickly you're progressing. And this guide wants to remind you that patience is part of this process. And that, what's that? Rome wasn't built in a day. You're building yourself up to be something magnificent and amazing. And that's not just going to happen overnight. And they want you to be more present also, so that, 2 months from now, 2 years from now, you can recognize just how far you've come and how much you've progressed and how much you've improved, and maybe what still needs to be worked on. I feel like this guide is really just asking you to give yourself a break a little bit and recognize that you are incredible and that you are doing incredible things. But you cannot set unrealistically high expectations for yourself and expect you to meet them in 2 weeks. They want you to recognize that you do have the ability to achieve very, very impressive things and very impressive achievements. But they're not going to ruin the story for you. This is your own epic. This is pile one's epic. You're living your epic right now. And they're not going to spoil the end of the story for you. They're here to guide you through it. And with the High Priestess here, this guide is saying, I'm only going to reveal to you what you need to know. I'm not going to spoil anything for you. I'm not going to tell you what's at the end of this tunnel. I'm not going to tell you, what's 5 steps from now. All you need to know about is what's in front of you and what's next. And everything else, you'll figure it out when you get there. Appreciate the fact that there is a lot to still be discovered. They want you to recognize that you are you're Frodo Baggins, okay? And this guide is Gandalf, and they're here to help guide you, and it's not going to be easy, but you're capable of it. And it's you're living your own epic and living your own amazing life, and they're not going to spoil that for you. They just want you to recognize that in the midst of living, don't forget the fact that this life is something to be embraced as well, and to embrace the present moment. Your ambition might get you to a place where it's hard to be satisfied with the present. And so that's the biggest thing they want you to work on, is just finding things in your present that are satisfying, that do bring you comfort, or that you are grateful for, because those are the things that you'll appreciate when you look back. They're reminding you that you don't want to be at the end of the journey and realize wow, I didn't appreciate XYZ. I didn't take this for granted. So yeah, they're really just putting things in perspective for you, but also assuring you that you will get where you need to go, but you don't need to know how. You just need to trust, and trust what your heart tells you. Trust that just because you can't see the finish line doesn't mean it's not there. And they don't want you to be wishing for the finish line, because if you're wishing for the finish line, you're not enjoying the process of living. So yeah, that's what they want to say. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off with some advice for you and some channel messages. Yeah. Don't complicate it. The truth is simple. You already have the answers. Accept people and situations as they are. It will bring you clarity and peace. That's kind of this Knight of Swords energy as well. We also have Spearmint with conviction. No one listens to me is the trigger statement, and the true statement is my voice is heard. And this guide especially is saying, I hear you, and I'm always listening to you. Stand strong and communicate your message. The world is ready to receive what you have to share. So if you already are thinking about sharing your voice or doing something like that, this guide is saying you can do it, and you will succeed. Be confident in yourself. We also have creativity flows from me. I am a divine creator. We have surrender the idea you can fix someone. It's time for a relationship to shift. It doesn't work to try to fix someone. Each person must be held accountable for his or her own healing. So yeah, if you're feeling like if you're being focused on like the wrong people or the wrong places, I feel like this is definitely going to be that guide that kind of severs connections that are not serving you. And finally, we have don't sweat the small stuff. Don't waste your precious energy worrying about the small things. Refocus your thoughts towards love, abundance, and tranquility. So yeah, this guide really wants to remind you, like, the truth is simple, and that you have a voice to share, and that you have a valuable perspective. And as you flow through life and go through life, like, that voice is only going to get stronger. You're only going to have more conviction and more confidence in your experience. And this guide just wants to remind you, like, they are always listening. Your voice is always heard. Like, be careful what you're saying, because they want to help your dreams come true. They just don't want you to feel like you're alone. They don't want you to feel like you're not being supported, that you're being held back. They just want to remind you that, like, they're always here. They're always listening, even if you can't hear them. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. This guide is with you always. And this quote that they wanted me to give to you is that reminder of that. So pile 1, I'm going to leave this reading here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for watching my ads. That is the simplest and easiest way to support me. But if you'd like to support me in other ways, you can like this video. That would be super helpful. You can subscribe if you haven't already. You can comment down below, let me know how this reading resonated. You can also check out my social media, though do be aware there are tons of scammers pretending to be me. If it's not linked below, it's not mine. I do not offer personal readings, and I will never ever solicit a personal reading from you in your DMs. I have quite a few scammers pretending to be me, and Instagram won't do anything about it. So yeah, be careful. And I also have merch, which is linked below as well. But that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much to you for letting me read your cards, and thank you so much to your guide for letting me channel and be a part of this reading. I really hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, pile 2. If you guys chose the Fluorite Unicorn and the Good Tarot, this is going to be your reading on messages from your spirit guide. So what I'm going to do first is look at who this spirit guide is. You may know of them, you may not. This may be your first time meeting them, maybe not. We'll just have to see. And then once we know who we're channeling, we'll see what they have to say to you. So to start, we have the Desert. We have second house, owning. We have White Raven Spirit, trust in the magic. And we have Father, talent for creating and supporting life, positive guiding light within a tribal unit. We have Isa, introspection and ego. And we have I am abundant. I'm actually gonna switch these. Okay. So there's actually, if you felt drawn to pile 1, there may be messages in pile 1 for you too, because I am getting a similar guiding energy, but this is definitely a more masculine guide that plays a fatherly role in your life. This could be quite literally a father, grandfather that already passed on. But I do feel like for a lot of you, this is, this kind of goes deeper than that. Not that that's not deep and significant, but with this fatherly role, I feel like this guide guides a lot of people in your soul family, and like they kind of oversee all of the souls in your soul family. But that doesn't mean that they don't have a deep connection to you as well. But if you are in contact with this guide, or if you are aware of this guide, you may have been wondering where they've been recently, or feeling a lack of their presence recently. And that's not you're on point in thinking that way, but that's not because they've like abandoned you or they're angry at you or something like that. That is not the case at all. Sometimes if it's in our highest good, guides may take a step back, or guides may give you your space, or you may just be like disconnected in your own way where you can't really feel the energy of this guide. But this guide definitely plays a very fatherly role in your life, helping guide and support you and nurture you, and help show you the right ways to go. Immediately I'm being called to tell you to read the book The Alchemist. It's by, I can't remember the author's last name, but it's like a really, really popular book. If you haven't read it, you should, because it will be I think it'll be very helpful for you. And if you're part of this pile, you've either already achieved some sort of financial success, financial abundance, or that's something that's assured for you, and that's a huge role that this guide has in your life, is helping you succeed and achieve in the material realm. Taurus energy is very strong here. So you could have Taurus energy, or this guide could have more Taurus energy. The sign of the bull could be significant. And I feel like you and this guide have some stubborn energy. The biggest thing that I am seeing, though, is that this guide is coming through, one, to let you know that nothing is wrong, that they haven't abandoned you, but that they have been taking a step back because you've been in a much needed period of reflection. Like, this is something where it's for your own good, because this is definitely a guide that is not going to coddle you. This is a guide that is going to give you tough love when you need it, or give you space when you need it to work through whatever challenges you may be facing. Now, with the desert and Issa being here, it does kind of seem like you've been in a period where maybe your finances have been stagnating. I feel like this is so much more than finances, though. Like, your finances could be fine and you could feel like they're stagnating, or you could be just feeling like in general you're stagnating, that you're not growing too much, or that you're feeling disconnected from your light. Because with the unicorn here, I really do think there is a purity of spirit to this pile, and I feel like this guide does feel protective of your pure spirit, but they can't protect your spirit from yourself, if that makes sense. Because I do think that you've been struggling with your ego recently, and I do want to say, like, there's no shame in being in our ego, because every single human on this planet has an ego, and the ego is an elusive, slippery bitch, and it will like sneak up on you and cloud your vision so quickly without you realizing it. And it's really important to recognize when the ego has kind of overridden your inner truth. And I feel like that's kind of what has been happening right now. But there's good reason for it. Because if you've already achieved some sort of success, this guide specifically is coming through to say, not only do you deserve that, you deserve more. But there's reminders in how you view this abundance, and to remember that material abundance is not everything. While it is incredibly important in living a comfortable life, it can be easy to get lost in the more egoic aspects of abundance, of material abundance. And this guide is wanting to redirect you and remind you why you set out on this path in the first place, what truly motivates you, because I don't think it's the bag that truly motivates you. I think the bag is something that is a great like addition, but I feel like there's a deeper purpose to why it is that you do what you do. And this guide has kind of been taking a step back because you may have been getting too lost in what you don't have, or lost in what's next, or worries that this abundance won't last forever, or that if you don't have that yet, like, you might be worried about how you're going to get it, or what if I'm not worthy of it, or just there's a lot of fear here, and fear is ruled by the ego. And one thing that you want to understand is that, like, everyone has an ego. Like, it doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you like wrong or crappy. It's literally just a part of yourself that is trying to protect you, but it just doesn't go about it in the best of ways. And with this white raven spirit being here, the white raven could be a sign of this guide, as well as the bull. We also have roses here, so that could be a sign of them. Gold could be a sign of them, because let's be real, this guide wants to shower you with abundance, but they don't want you to ever be miserly about that abundance. They never want you to feel like you'll never have enough. I think you're learning lessons in the material realm right now about recognizing when you have enough, recognizing when you're okay, and recognizing when you might be in the energy of taking rather than receiving, if that makes sense. And they're not saying this to like shame you or anything like that. They're saying this to help you be aware of how you're cultivating, well, not how you're cultivating. They want you to be aware of how material abundance is never truly satisfying. It can bring about satisfying experiences. It can give you satisfying like opportunities. It can bring you comfort. It can bring you safety. But to a certain degree, it is never going to be like, there's never going to be a number in your bank account or a certain bag or like luxury item that is going to make you feel fully complete. And they want you to recognize your abundance as an extension of your accomplishments and less so as an extension of your worth, especially because abundance can fluctuate in the material realm. And there are a lot of factors in the material realm that are outside of our control. And so they're really trying to remind you and redirect you towards the deeper truths behind why you cultivated this abundance or why you will cultivate this abundance. And I think it has to do with a deeper sense of purpose, a desire to help others, a desire to be creative, a desire to make the world a better place. And if you're in this period of stagnation, I think it's partially because you're kind of meant to be there, but also because if you're not right now reaping a lot of those benefits, or you're worried that like the abundance that you're cultivating will slow down, or you're fearing what the next step is, or you're fearing that you won't have enough, that's kind of your ego talking. And so this guide is kind of taking a step back because they know when they won't be able to get through to you anyway. And they know that you're smart enough to reach these conclusions on your own. But it's like with readings like this, it's an opportunity for this guide to say, hey, like you might be afraid that maybe this guide abandoned you and that maybe this guide won't help you anymore. And that's not the case at all. This guide loves you and wants to protect and nurture you. And they're dedicated to making sure you are comfortable in the material realm. They want you to be comfortable more than anything. But they don't want you to ever get jaded by the abundance they are or will shower you with. So with this desert card being here, it's almost kind of like you're in this period of stagnation to kind of go within and remind yourself why you're doing this in the first place and what truly matters to you. What is truly going to make your heart happy? Because the one reminder that they want to give you is that when you leave this world, you don't take your Louis Vuitton bag with you, you know? Well, I mean, I guess you can like put it in your coffin or something, but like, you know what I mean? Like the only thing you take with you when you leave this world are the memories and experiences that your soul gained. And so they want to remind you also that money is a tool, and that if you've been blessed with abundance, don't be afraid to, well, not maybe spoil yourself, but also like reward yourself with it, to, you know, use it to do things you've always wanted to do. I mean, obviously be sensible, like have stuff saved, have a plan in mind, but don't be afraid to like do something that will benefit you. Like, you know, if you are feeling very uninspired, maybe taking a trip would be a very like if there's a trip that you've been wanting to take, like maybe that could be something that reignites your creative spark. Or if there's something you've really wanted for a long time and you just haven't really wanted to bite the bullet, but you know you can afford it, it's not going to harm you, you know, you might be encouraged to kind of just do it and reward yourself. Because part of it too, I almost wonder, is with getting, if you've already achieved some sort of abundance, you might be wondering, well, did I earn it? Am I worthy of it? Like, you might be feeling a bit of imposter syndrome as well. And this guide is once again taking a step back because they want you to know your worth. They want you to know what you deserve. Because one thing I will say, the abundance that you've already reaped, you deserve every single bit of it. But they also want you to be aware of how the more you have, the less it can feel like you have. So they want you to remember and recognize that abundance is always available to you, and that abundance is so much more than your bank statement. It's so much more than the clothes in your closet or what you have or don't have. Abundance comes in many forms. Abundance is the abundance of love you have around you, the abundance of friends, the abundance of positive experiences. They also want to remind you that abundance isn't just denying. I guess they're also saying, like, don't deny yourself experiences that you know you deserve or that you yearn for just because you worry that you're not worthy of it. Like, if you know that you can swing it, do it. Like, that's something that I'm getting as well. But I also just feel like you're really struggling right now to trust in the universe. I think that because you've kind of been in this period of stagnation, maybe you felt less connected to the universe. Maybe you felt less inspired. Maybe you felt just kind of like empty. And I feel like there is purpose in this time, and there is opportunity for growth in this time. But you may be denying that part, this time in your life, because you're afraid of like acknowledging it. Because if you acknowledge it, what does that mean? Does that mean that like this will be taken away from me? I do feel like part of it is you have this fear that like what you have deservedly earned will just be ripped away from you. And I feel like your guides are trying, not just this guide, but your guides in general are trying to remind you that that's not the case, that like you're safer than you realize. But also, you know, it like there's a battle with your ego right now, and I think it's taking a lot of your energy because your ego is really focused on your material resources and on what you don't have, and on fear. It's really what the biggest thing it's focused on is fear. Fear of not being in control, fear of being unsafe, fear of not knowing the next step, fear of having the rug ripped out from underneath you. And it's kind of overriding your ability to tap into your soul energy, the energy that pushes you forward, the energy that reminds you that there are billions of possibilities available to you, that there is always a fresh start, that love is always available to you, and there's always, you're always being guided and supported. And so this is kind of a time where you're being tested, not in a way where like the universe is decidedly putting you in some sort of energy where like you feel stagnant, you feel kind of lost and isolated and literally in the desert, in the sense that like there's just not a lot of, you might not be feeling a lot of emotions right now, you might be having trouble finding gratitude for things right now. But this is just another experience in the wheel of life, and with every experience you have the opportunity to change how you're looking at something. And I feel like your ego is really struggling with this time, especially if you have been in a period for a while where you were abundant in ideas, abundant in motivation, abundant in literally material abundance. You might be worried, oh, if this period of stagnation, will it affect my security? Will it affect what I'm doing? And so this is your guide kind of saying, I'm always watching over you. I'm always protecting you. But this is an opportunity to be aware of how your ego can kind of slip in without you even realizing it, and getting you in this fearful energy that stops you from positive momentum forward. And the thing is that like these desert periods, like, they're always gonna happen. Sometimes they can come from burnout, sometimes they just come naturally. There can be many different factors, but it's all about how you deal with the energies coming to you. So like, if you're in this desert period and you're like, well, screw it, I'm just gonna lay down, wither out, and die, like, that's not really gonna help you much. But persisting and recognizing, like, even when you're in those periods, that's okay, I think is important. And I think that Spirit has been giving you an opportunity to kind of go within and get past those things that maybe you haven't been paying attention to, because you've had an abundance of ideas, an abundance of motivation, an abundance of productivity. And, you know, now that that's slowed down a little bit, it's kind of the universe saying, all right, let's go within. Because with this Father guide here, which I really feel the most in these 4 cards, but they kind of tie in, like, this feels a lot like your energy, but this guide's role is very much about making sure you're secure in this realm, making sure that you feel safe. But part of it also is that you can't rely on them forever. You know what I mean? Like, they're there to guide you, but they can't do the work for you. And so this is an opportunity where they're stepping back for your growth, for your own good, so that you can work through the challenges of facing the kind of stasis that you're in right now and be able to grow through it. So I grabbed this Oracle deck. It's called the Self-Forgiveness Oracle deck, Love Your Ego edition. I would highly recommend getting this deck. It's on Etsy, and it comes with a book all about, like, ego responses. And I feel like the more you can understand your ego and be aware of it, the more you can recognize how it's stealing your joy. Because I think the biggest thing is that, like, you probably actively recognize that there are so many great things in your life, and you might be, like, hard on yourself, like, why don't I feel joy for these things? Why am I not feeling as inspired? Why am I not feeling as passionate? Why am I not feeling that zest for life? And I feel like it's probably setting you in this energy of fear, and it's triggering your ego a little bit. So this is an opportunity to look at your ego and recognize how it can slip back into your perspective without you even realizing it. So what does pile 2 need to forgive themselves for when it comes to their ego, please, Spirit? Okay, we'll look at these 4 and what's on the back of the deck. I forgive myself for attempting to draw conclusions based on the incomplete truths available to me now. I choose to believe that when I wait patiently without drawing premature conclusions, I allow myself to be swiftly moved to what is meant for me next. So yeah, this at the bottom, it says the Fool in control. So the ego response is directly related to your fear of not being in control. And so because you're in the middle of this desert period, you might be like, oh, well, this is it. I'm just destined for failure now. Like, I'm never going to succeed. I'm going to lose everything. Like, that energy is what's keeping you stuck here, stuck in this desert. So instead saying, okay, this is a period where I'm not feeling very inspired. Let me just wait. Instead of drawing premature conclusions, and allow the universe to flow me to what's next. Because one thing that is true is that change, like, the only constant in life is change. Life is always changing. So when you're in this desert period, you have to remember that you're never going to be stuck in a period like this forever. But also when you're in a really successful, really abundant, really motivated period, that's not going to be forever either. So it's like learning to take advantage of the energy that's naturally flowing, what you're naturally experiencing. Like, so one thing this guide is trying to get you to recognize is that there's value in this time that you're going through right now. This is an opportunity for you to introspect, to focus on yourself, to understand what aspects of yourself may be stopping you from utilizing these opportunities and learning more about yourself. Because when you are in a very, like, productive, motivated space, it's a lot harder to focus on yourself because you're more focused on output, you're more focused on creating. So when things externally get a little bit dry, that's an opportunity to go within and say, okay, what about me is working and what about me is not? Like, what parts of my attitude maybe you're not helping me? What viewpoints can I challenge? Because I do think there's a stubborn part of you where you maybe like for things to be the same all the time, and part of what the universe and this guide is trying to get you to understand is that things are always going to be changing. How can you find comfort despite the change? Let's see what else we have. I forgive myself for thinking others should also be excited about what I personally find to be interesting and worthwhile. I choose to believe that my preferences are a unique expression of who I am, and I may experience deeper fulfillment and clarity when honoring my desires independently. So, maybe you have been struggling to find validation for what you're doing or what your next steps are. And I feel like this guide, partially why this guide is taking a step back, is trying to help you trust that you can trust yourself to make those next steps, that you don't need external validation to tell you what the next step is or what the right move is. I feel like this is less about like others' approval and like wanting others to like what you like, and more so that maybe you've been waiting for some sort of external validation in order to make a decision, and that's been kind of holding you back. We also have, I forgive myself for thinking I need others to understand my dream before it is safe to pursue it. I choose to believe that when I alone honor my desires, I allow for the emergence of a truer version of myself and the potential and the alignment with my highest potential. So yeah, both of these cards have to do with your purpose. And I feel called to remind you too that other people don't have to understand what you're doing or what you're following. All you need is to trust yourself. I think this is a huge opportunity for you to find validation internally rather than externally, and to recognize that external validation is never going to bring you the satisfaction that you want. But we also have, I forgive myself for holding on to the notion that no one understands me. I choose to believe that when I make an unwavering effort to understand myself and the way I feel, I am able to effortlessly communicate with others on a deeper level. Yeah, so I feel like you've also been having trouble accepting this period in your life. You've been having trouble making the changes that you want. You may have been in a state of denial about what you're going through because you don't want to accept that, or you don't want to admit that. And so you might just kind of suppress the feelings that you're having. And so Spirit's kind of saying, we're not slowing you down because you're being punished. We're slowing you down so that you can get an idea of what's going on internally, so that when it's time to speed back up, you're not held back by these fears of what was going on during this time period. And then on the back of the deck, we have, I forgive myself for not making the changes I know would better support me in the realization of my desires. I choose to believe that deeper comfort and fulfillment await me, and I may effortlessly receive them once I these sentences are long. And I'm just going to restart this one. I choose to believe that deeper comfort and fulfillment await me, and I may effortlessly receive them both once I surrender to the shift required to get there. Yeah, so all of these might resonate, only some of them might resonate. It's absolutely okay if they don't all resonate, but yeah, those might have been helpful. Oh, okay, you need to see this one too. I forgive myself for feeling as though I may somehow mess everything up should I choose to trust myself. I choose to believe that every time I allow myself to gently follow my instinct, I strengthen my intuitive muscle and set myself up for future success. Yeah, this is huge for you. This is huge for you. You can trust yourself to succeed. And it's almost like, this guide has been kind of taking a step back because they don't want you to be overly dependent on external guidance. And you may find too that you've been relying on external guidance a bit too much, or you have a hard time believing internal validation. I think a lot of this journey is about validating yourself internally. And I don't know why, but the Scooby-Doo movie, I don't know, the one where they're in Egypt, The Legend of the Mummy or something like that. I don't know. It's a good movie. That movie is coming through, so if you haven't seen that, you may want to watch it, because it's, I don't know what messages might be in there for you, but, yeah, I don't know. That just came through. But what does this guide want to say to pile 2? What messages do they have for pile 2? Because it kind of seems like they've already been coming through. Okay, so we have the Ace of Wands. We have the Star. I love how similar like the vibe is with the I am abundant and the Star. We have the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, this is making a lot of sense. We have the Queen of Wands. Woo, okay, so this is kind of the vibe that your guide gives me, but we have the Eight of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Magician, and I feel like these are kind of all together. I feel like, yeah. And on the back of the deck, we have the Knight of Cups. So this is your assurance that this period is not forever. And like exactly what I was saying, you are just in a period where you're being guided right now to go within, because passion and motivation are things that are always going to be available to you and that are always going to come back. Inspiration strikes at the most, well, I just heard inconvenient moments, but also like, I didn't want to say inconvenient. At the most random moments. Like, you never know when inspiration will strike. And I feel like this is your guide assuring you that your typical drive for life will come back. It will be there for you. With the Queen of Wands being here, you could be a fire sign, or you could be an Aquarius or an earth sign. We did have a lot of Taurus energy, but the fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, and the earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Don't have to have those though. But essentially, your guide, this guide, and specifically, is asking you not to give up hope. To not give up, and to not feel like just because you feel like your well has run dry or that you've run out of ideas, it does not mean that you will never have any anymore. The Star is literally the water bearer, and Aquarius energy is all about the future and, you know, having hope. It's a very, very beautiful card. And I feel like your guide is saying that, like, in times where you don't feel inspired, in times where you're struggling to feel anything, in times where you're struggling to know the next way forward, trust that that's not going to happen forever. And that, in fact, things when it comes to your career and when it comes to your abundance will be looking up. But you may be really good at, like, putting in work externally, but they want you to be able to put in that internal work as well. And maybe that's something you're learning right now. And so this opportunity for you to slow down is not a punishment from the universe. It's an opportunity to work on your inner work before things pick back up again. Because there may be things that you've recognized have been holding you back in the past from maybe taking opportunities, doing things a bit differently, from just being your best self. And so the universe in this guide is saying, like, you know, this isn't happening for your detriment. This is happening for your benefit. And this is just a window of time that is allowing you to go within and see what is not helping you be your best self, what is not helping you evolve. Also, the movie Howl's Moving Castle is popping up in my head. And, like, one thing that I'm thinking about that movie specifically, your name could be Sophie, shout out to the Sophies out there, but also, you know, in that movie, the protagonist, Sophie, is cursed by a witch and turned into an old lady. And I remember when I watched it for the first time, I was just really, like, impressed by her attitude towards all of it, because I know if that happened to me, I would be such a little bitch about it. I would just be like, I never got to enjoy my youth, and, like, you know, I would have just whined and complained. I know myself, I would have been devastated. But, you know, she embraced the opportunities that being an old lady gave her, and you know, I'm not going to spoil the whole movie, but like, she just has like such an amazing attitude. She rolls with the punches, even when the punches are absolutely devastating. And I mean, another thing about that movie is she starts out the movie with brown hair, but keeps the gray hair. And I almost kind of see this in that Queen of Wands. It's like Spirit is reminding you, like, what's happening to you is not actually a curse, because we're not in a Studio Ghibli movie, okay? We are in reality, and sometimes life is just gonna be tough. Sometimes life is gonna be outside of your control. And I feel like Spirit is reminding you to not lose hope. And one thing that I wanna point out as well is that within this Queen of Wands, the heart chakra is being highlighted, and that's where your passion comes from. Your passion, your creative inspiration and things like that, the material abundance you reap from it is not going to be what motivates you to do more. It's what got you started in the first place. It's the deeper purpose. And so your guides are reminding you to not only be confident in your ability to regenerate, to not only be confident in your voice and what you can do, but to remind yourself why you're doing things in the first place, why you do what you do, the heart beneath it and the heart behind it. Because when inspiration does strike, it will strike fast and you'll know exactly how to act. Because with the Eight of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Magician being here, you can cultivate more abundance to you, like naturally, but also you're being set up with the abundance you already have to make even more moves and to grow even more. Like, the abundance that you're given is like tools and resources for you so that you can do more with the deeper desires of your heart, so that you can think bigger and dream bigger and use what you have to make even bigger moves. And with the Knight of Cups being here, your heart is what's going to lead you in the right direction. You have to trust what your heart is telling you. And that's a big, big lesson in the book, The Alchemist, which I already mentioned. And like, it's seriously, it's an easy read. If you haven't read it, you need to. But you just need to trust that you can and you will move forward. You don't need to be afraid of what's next. You don't need to be afraid that everything will just go to shit. That's not how life works. Everybody bounces back. I'm hearing that song like, last night I took an L, but tonight I bounce back. Something, is it called Bounce Back or something like that? Because we all take L's and we learn a lot from our L's. But your guides are reminding you, because I almost feel like maybe this one guide is coming in, but like you have a lot of guides that want to talk to you. All this time really is doing is redirecting you to the beautiful purity within your soul and within your heart. Because if you chose, you know, the unicorn stone and the good tarot, you at your core are a good person with a good heart, and you want to contribute to the world. You want to help others. And when the universe blesses us, it can be easy to forget the reasons why we started and the reasons why we're doing something. And so this is just an opportunity for you to realign with your truth and realign with your energy and your heart and realign with what truly matters to you. And I feel like with the Magician being here, you're learning to find balance between all of the elements, and you're learning to create from this and to know when it's time to strike on creations, when it's time to strike on inspiration. And with this Magician card being here, it kind of gives me the energy of your guide. Kind of looks like Santa, but I feel like this guide is really here to say, like, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you manifest what you want. I'm here to help you cultivate your dreams. But if you're cultivating from a place of fear, cultivating from a place of lack, cultivating from a place of uncertainty, you're probably not going to get the same results as you would when you take that time to yourself that you need and allow yourself to regroup and allow inspiration to strike. But also they're reminding you that you'll know when it's right to take action. You can trust yourself. Like, you've got it in the bag. Like, you've got it. You're fine. And I feel like really just what you need to know is that your fear and your mind may be blocking you from what your heart is telling you, because your heart speaks in very simple terms, and your heart is like your representative, the representative of your soul. Like if you can't communicate to your soul, your heart will tell you what your soul wants you to know, and your heart will never lead you astray. And sometimes the heart tells us things that the mind doesn't really understand, but you don't need to make sense of it. A lot of times things don't make sense, and a lot of times the ego will want to talk us out of things. The ego will want to keep us small. The ego will try to protect you in the way that it knows how, but the ways in which it protects you aren't for your growth. And so part of the reason why you feel so stagnant and why you feel so dry is because this is an opportunity for you to reconnect with your heart. And the more you connect with your heart, the more you'll be able to sense and feel the guidance around you, the more you'll be able to recognize that the universe has been supporting you and loving you this entire time. Spirit never turns their back on us. We turn our backs on Spirit. And the beautiful thing is that Spirit's never going to chastise you for it. Your guides are never going to be like giving you shit. They're never going to be disappointed in you. They love you. And all you need to do is turn back around, turn back to your truth. You're not going to be shamed for it. You're not going to be scolded for it. All there is from your guides is love, and they love you so much. And the more you realign with the energy of love, the more elated they're going to be, because it is going to help you align with the truth and the energy of the universe, and the fact that the universe wants you to succeed. The universe wants to bless you. The universe wants to propel you forward. But the universe is not going to let you not see what's going on internally that's stopping you from being the best co-creator possible. And if you're not coming from a place of love, it can be very easy to get out of alignment and get lost. And so your guides are really saying, trust in this time. Don't be afraid to dig within. Don't avoid what's going on internally, but don't interpret what's going on as a punishment from the universe, because it's not. Your guides love you, and every energy and every experience that you go through is an opportunity to learn something, to experience something, and to grow as a person. And so just remember, don't focus on achievements. Focus on the process. Focus on finding your peace in the moment, finding gratitude in every single moment. And also, don't beat yourself up. Don't be so hard on yourself. You deserve the love that you so freely give to other people. And you have to remind yourself that it can be really hard to be kind to ourselves, and to be patient with ourselves, and to forgive ourselves. And so these cards are all about self-forgiveness. These ego cards are about forgiving yourself for when your ego comes through, because as a human, you just have an ego. Like that's just how it is. We all have them, and we all have to work with ours. And sometimes our ego can make us very jaded and really distract us from the truth of ourselves. And there's nothing wrong with that happening. In fact, when that happens, it's an opportunity to have more control over yourself and be prepared in the future, and recognize the signs in the future of when maybe you're falling out of alignment with yourself and falling into a state of fear and ego. So that's what your guides want to say there. So I am going to go ahead and finish this off with a little bit more advice. So to start, we have observe. How are you feeling? Sit with it without labels or judgment. Practice just observing yourself and others. Not everything needs your reaction. Yeah. Allowing yourself to feel things without judgment will be huge. Like just saying, okay, I'm feeling very uninspired today, and I'm feeling very agitated, and that's okay. What can I do to help that? How can I be kind to myself today? I need you to like double pinky promise me this, like right now. Promise me that every single day you will ask yourself, how can I be kind to myself today? Because that is what you need. You don't need shame. You don't need judgment. Ask yourself how you can be nice to yourself. We also have black spruce as a oil, and it says restore. The trigger statement is I am broken, and the true statement is I am illuminated. As you release your attachment to the high and low, you find peace and balance. Honor the cycles of your body and energy now. Exactly. This literally, like, you are in a cycle, and sometimes when you're in a lower cycle, it's harder. It is hard. But when you're in those low cycles, just remember that there's always a high coming. And when you're in those good periods of life, don't take them for granted. Appreciate them for what they are. And recognize that it won't always be like this forever, because that wheel has to flow. You know, life is cyclical, and we work in cyclical ways. We have seasons. We're always working in a cyclical fashion. So the more you recognize that, the more you'll be able to surrender to whatever experiences you're going through, and be able to trust that there's always something else. There's always more. There's always a better day, and there will always be times that are not so fun, but like, that's okay. And that doesn't mean that the universe doesn't love you. Like, that's just life, and nobody leaves life unscathed. We also have, it's safe to ask for help. People want to support me. Yeah, so especially if you're like struggling with these feelings and you're not getting help with it, you know, either talking to someone who understands. Where's that one that says, for holding on to the notion that no one understands me. I choose to believe that when I make an unwavering effort to understand myself and the way I feel, I'm able to effortlessly communicate with others on a deeper level. You may realize that you're not the only one feeling that way. And like, I will say myself, like, I go through periods of this as well, where I just don't want to do anything. And then I feel guilty and I feel bad. And I'm like, I should be helping people. I should be making videos, and I'm exhausted and I feel like crap. And then I beat myself up for it. Like, literally, you're not the only one that feels this way. The only reason I'm able to channel this for you is because I understand this experience, and I go through it as well. So, you know, trust that you're not the only one that goes through this. Everybody deals with this, and to some degree, and maybe not everyone will be able to relate with that to you, but especially if you can get like professional help or just the listening ear of someone who cares, that could really help you a lot to recognize that, like, it's not the end of the world. Like, you're not gonna be stuck at this desert forever. I am committed to bringing forth my greatness. I will no longer play small. I don't think the universe was allowing you to play small anyway, but you maybe your ego sometimes might want to make you small out of fear of being seen. We also have surrendered worry. Make a commitment to not lead an anxiety-driven life. When worries arise, breathe them out of your body. Focus on the power of your heart, what did I say? And have faith that Spirit is guiding you always. Yes, this is so important. So important. And like a swing, you know, you have the moments where you're down low, but you also get the moments where you're up high, and it takes more momentum and more. Oh, another book you should read, by Alan Watts, The Wisdom of Insecurity by Alan Watts. And we also have Let It Go. It's time to let go of the negative thoughts that are consuming you. Don't waste your energy on them any longer. So yeah, I will say one chakra that you may want to work on healing is your root chakra. Your root chakra is responsible for you feeling secure, for you feeling grounded. And I do think that you're probably struggling to feel grounded and safe in the 3D, and also struggling to feel a spiritual connection. I feel like you're mainly stuck in your head. So this is Spirit's kind of asking you to be in your body, be present with your body, what your body is telling you. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't think what you ought to do or what you should do. Be patient with yourself, and remember, ask yourself every day, how can I be kind to myself today? So pile 2, that is all I have for you. Thank you guys so much for watching, for giving me the opportunity to read your cards, and thank you so much for watching my ads. That is the simplest and easiest way to support me. But if you'd like to support me in other ways, you can like this video. You can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already, and click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new video. You can check out my social media, which will be linked below, though do be aware, I have tons of scammers pretending to be me. I do not offer personal readings, and anyone saying that or sliding into your DMs pretending to be me is a scammer and a liar. And finally I have merch, which is linked below as well. But that is all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to do this reading. Thank you so much to your guides for coming through. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye. Hi there, pile 3. If you guys chose this Rose Quartz Angel and the Ember and Aura Tarot, this is going to be your reading on messages from your spirit guide. So first we have to look and see who this spirit guide is and what they are guiding you towards, what they're all about. So to start, we have the Venom. I promise this is not like a non-spirit guide or something. We have Mercury retrograde with reinvention. We have Damsel, understanding the nature of healthy romance inspires you to rely on yourself. We have Rhino spirit, overcome any obstacle. We have I am open to receive. And we have waxing crescent with setting intentions. So I get the vibe that this is definitely a feminine guide, or a guide that has a lot of feminine energy to them. And I feel that they are a guide that has just recently appeared in your life, is about to appear in your life, or was meant to come into your life at this period of time. You could be watching during Mercury retrograde if that's confirmation, but while I'm filming, luckily Mercury is not in retrograde, but this could have found you during one, so that could be a confirmation. But the biggest thing that I see here is that you've either been faced with a lot of difficult experiences that have finally forced you to go within and start going on your own self-love journey, or you've already been on your self-love journey and you're ready to receive what this guide has for you. So this guide really gives me supportive bestie energy that wants you to see your worth, but is not going to like lie to you or shield you from the difficult truths within yourself that need to be faced. Essentially what I see about this guide, honestly, the energy this guide gives me is like the house bunny. Who does Anna Faris, like Anna Faris's character in the house bunny, I get kind of that energy. Like it's very pink, it's very like youthful, beautiful. Like this guide is a very like, has a very beautiful energy to them. And I feel like this guide is here to bless you and help you cultivate the finer things in life. I feel like this guide is here for an important reason. And this guide has only shown up because you're either ready to receive this guide and you've actively asked for like help in these areas. You may not have known that asking for help or praying to spirit would bring this guide about. No matter what the case is, this guide was drawn to you for the precise reasons of helping you become your best self, helping you change for the better, helping you overcome the things that are holding you back, and helping you see your best self. What I really see here as well is that this guide specifically is helping you when it comes to the world of love and romance, whether you're already in a relationship and they're there to help you strengthen that relationship, or you are wanting a relationship, you're ready to be open to that again. This guide is here to help you. This guide, maybe you may have interacted with this guide in the past, but maybe unknowingly. This guide loves anything pretty. Like they love like flowers and well, oh, that's actually really sweet. When I said this guide loves anything pretty, I heard like your soul. So they think your soul is very beautiful and they want to help you help yourself cultivate more confidence. So it's like, they're not gonna be the ones to help you. They're essentially helping you empower yourself to be your best self. They're not doing the work for you, I guess is the point of what I'm trying to make. Because with this Mercury retrograde reinvention, I feel like this guide is coming in to help you get rid of illusions that don't serve you, especially when it comes to your worth, when it comes to dating and attraction, when it comes to connecting with others, when it comes to problematic societal viewpoints on gender roles when it comes to dating, when it comes to problematic viewpoints from society when it comes to dating in general. And there's a lot here about seeing your own worth. This guide is here to help you be ready to receive blessings from the universe. And one of those blessings could very well be a romantic relationship or a renewal in your romantic relationship if you already are in one. With the Venom card being here, I feel like this guide is going to push you in ways that you haven't been pushed before. And I think that this is going to come in the form of being challenged to open yourself up to new experiences. And these experiences might show parts of yourself that you were unaware of before, and also through your connections with others. Past connections may be coming forward as you shift, because you're going to be able to see whether you still align with that energy or not. And more likely than not, there are going to be energies that you don't align with anymore, where you're going to realize how you've ascended beyond the need to have that connection. You've ascended beyond the attachment of that connection because you recognize there's no growth to be had and there's nothing that can help you evolve. This guide is also going to be fiercely protective of you. And so there will be experiences or people that are ripped away from you, because this guide has a very, despite like the soft feminine nature of them, they're coming through with the rhino spirit. And rhinos, well, I'm pretty sure, right? Like they'll fuck you up. Like hippos and rhinos, like they will kick your butt. So I really feel like this guide is gonna kick your butt in the best of ways and take things away from you that you may not realize are actually a blessing in disguise. I do feel like as well, things will be brought to the surface that are being purged. And it might be difficult to purge them in the moment. It might be difficult to face endings or conflict with other people that maybe don't align with you anymore. But this guide is assuring you that they are getting you on track towards having a healthier relationship with yourself, a healthier relationship with others, and help you recognize what you're deserving of and be more open to the blessings that the universe wants to give to you. I'm hearing the song Don't Start Now by Dua Lipa, specifically the part that's like did a full 180. And I feel like that's what you're about to do. If you are on the beginning of this self-love journey, I feel like this is going to be a time that is a little bit challenging. It's going to be difficult, but you are going to get through it. This guide is here to help you, and also everything that you do to help you through this is so worth it. And when you are looking at things from the other side, you are going to be so amazed. And I really feel like this is a glow up for you, but it's not like it could be a physical glow up, like you could put more effort into your appearance and things like that, but that's not the true nature or the true purpose of it. The true purpose of it is to have an internal glow up where you recognize your worth, you recognize what behaviors in yourself aren't healthy and what behaviors in yourself are. You'll recognize what behaviors in others aren't healthy, and you'll be able to set boundaries, speak your mind when something's not okay, be able to put your guard up or put a wall up if there is somebody that is not treating you properly. And you'll recognize like what you're worthy of receiving and what energies you don't want in your life. I feel like in your past, you've kind of had this energy like you didn't believe that you were deserving of good things or that you were deserving of love. So whenever it came in, you accepted whatever form that was. You accepted treatment that was not reflective of your true value because you were afraid of losing that. You were afraid that there wouldn't be a replacement of that. And I do get the vibe for some of you that you could have been in toxic to borderline abusive relationships in your past. If you are in one now, I would really urge you to get help, to please don't be afraid to get help. What I will say about that as well is that, like, please don't be hard on yourself. Please don't shame yourself. Like, abusive situations are so much more complex than some people believe. You should have no shame in going through that and experiencing that. Like, it's a very, very difficult thing, and it's not your fault. Obviously, we can play into those dynamics when we are in them, but like, you're doing the best you can with the resources you have at the time you're doing something. So I guess the point of what I'm saying is that if you're still in a difficult situation, don't be afraid to ask for help. Please, please, please get help, because it is so, so difficult to separate yourself from those situations on your own. And it is so hard sometimes to recognize the signs of being in those relationships. So if you're in that situation, I would just beg of you, like, please talk to others, get help, do research, look for resources that can help you out of that, which I feel like most of you probably experienced that in your past. So if you did experience that in your past, if you want to leave advice for what you did to help heal, resources that helped you, if you want to leave that in the comment section, I think that would be really, really helpful. But I just want you to know that, like, this is not a situation that you should feel shame for. It's really no joke. It's not okay, and abuse of any form is not love. It is not something you deserve, and it is not your fault. If you are in that situation, I'm just sending you my love, and I just want you to know that you are worthy of genuine, authentic love. And while the process of getting there, and I don't mean from other people, I mean from yourself and from everybody who you allow into your life, I just want you to know that you are worthy of so much more, and that you are worthy of the resources and the help that is available to get out of those situations as best as you can. But obviously, you know, be safe. I'm sending my love, but I'm gonna get back to the reading now, because I can't fix those situations. I can only speak. So let's scale back now and talk to the people, because I think for the majority of this pile, these are situations that you are out of, but they are situations that you haven't necessarily healed from. And I do want to say, situations like that, like, healing is not linear, and you don't need to be completely healed. Being completely healed is a myth. Healing never ends. To be open to something again, you can heal with other people the same way you can heal on your own. And I just want you to know that, like, you're allowed to be on your healing journey and still be open to new experiences and new people. You don't have to fully love yourself in order to be in a relationship or be open to something again. But with that being said, you know, I definitely think that wherever you are, you're ready to either get back out there, or you may not even be focused on romantic relationships in general. But one thing that you need to be aware of is that the more you invest in yourself, the more you focus on your own healing, the more you're naturally going to attract people, because they're going to be attracted to the fact that, you know, you're feeling good, you're putting energy into yourself, you're almost kind of attracting that without realizing it. I'm not saying like you're like asking for people to come around you. It's just like people might naturally be more attracted to you just because you're putting a lot of effort into yourself and you're focusing on yourself. So the experiences that you're going through right now, this guide is here to help you know your worth, here to help you ascend and evolve and grow and overcome the things of your past that made you feel like that you deserved less than the best, that you deserved less than the best things life has to offer. I feel like this guide is going to help you a lot with how you talk to yourself and how you see yourself. This is the guide that is going to help you become the person that you want to be, because more so than anything, this is less about romantic love and like less about relationships and way more about the love that you have for yourself and cultivating that self-love. And like, let's be real, we don't always love ourselves. sometimes that is difficult. Self-love is not just like looking in the mirror and being like, I love myself and I'm amazing. Self-love is like, it takes discipline, it takes work, it takes realistic evaluation of yourself, it takes self-reflection, it takes a lot. It takes big balls, and I mean metaphorically speaking. And anybody that is on the journey of healing and self-love knows that it ain't easy. It is work, and it ain't always sunshines and rainbows, but it is worthwhile. It is worth it. And so I think that this guide is here to help you recognize that you are the hero that you're holding out for. For some of you, you may be holding back on focusing on yourself out of this hope with this shadow attribute, waiting for a knight to provide for you. Seduction by romantic illusion. You know, that behavior in of itself is not helpful because nobody can do your healing for you. Nobody can save you. And if you're putting all of your happiness and all your hope into another person, you're literally setting yourself up for failure because nobody can be that for you. Even in a romantic relationship, both individuals, or if there's more individuals, all individuals are responsible for their own happiness. You know, healthy relationships are when two individuals add to a connection. You don't need anybody to complete you. You're complete on your own. But what you're doing and what this process is helping you with is becoming the person you want to be, cultivating the relationships you want to have, whether romantic or not. They don't have to be romantic. This could also be about friendships. This could be about not letting toxic friends into your life. It could be about cutting toxic friends out of your life, recognizing the signs of toxic friends or toxic people that are not beneficial to you, because friendships can be a doozy as well. And arguably, I would say friendship breakups can be harder than romantic breakups sometimes. It's all hard, you know? Connection and attachment is hard and it hurts a lot, but it shouldn't hurt all the time. And you can form beautiful connections with people, and it is those good connections that make connecting with others worth it. And I think that what you're being taught with this guide right now, or what this guide is about to help teach you, is the behavior that you're worthy and deserving of, behavior that you should not tolerate. And this isn't going to be so overt. Like, your guide's not going to sit down with you and be like, listen, you know, you shouldn't tolerate this, you shouldn't tolerate that, you deserve this, you deserve that. Like, they're not going to sit down and do that for you. It's kind of a process of recognizing internally what you deserve, but you may not know, but also being aware when you are in connection with somebody. How do you feel when you hang out with someone? Do you feel uplifted or do you feel depleted? You know, when you're hanging out with people, when you're giving people your energy, you don't want to feel depleted. You don't want to feel judged. You don't want to feel badly. And if that's the case, that's a sign that that's someone that's probably not helpful for your growth. Whereas if you're hanging out with someone and you feel heard, you feel uplifted, you feel supported, that is the sign of a healthy person who wants to see you succeed. And I feel like in this case, you're going through a lot of change right now, and change is uncomfortable and change is scary. But this guide is here to help support you. And they are so precious about doing it. Like, I feel like this guide is going to pull together like opportunities for you. They are really going to be your biggest cheerleader, and they're essentially your guide to help you be your best self and be that nurturing support system that can remind you of your worth, that can remind you what you're deserving of when you're feeling down. And so ways in which you can do this, I feel like this guide first and foremost is asking you to picture the person you want to be. You can picture in terms of like, you know, aesthetic and like how you want to look and things like that. But focus first and foremost on internal qualities. What type of person do you want to be? Go inward out, because inward beauty is the most important beauty there is. And unfortunately in our society, I think that there's probably a bit too much focus on the external and less on the internal. And it's your internal beauty and your internal strength that will truly propel you to where you need to go. But there is nothing wrong with investing in your external self as well. There's nothing wrong with adorning your body and what you like. There's nothing wrong in doing yourself up. There is nothing wrong with taking pride in your appearance. I must say, there's nothing wrong with feeling beautiful, and you should do whatever you want to feel beautiful. But this glow up isn't surface level. It's very much internal, and it's very much about making you recognize what you deserve and the treatment that you deserve, and be open to receiving. One of your problems, I feel like, has been you don't know what you deserve. You don't know what you deserve to receive. And I think you're learning what authentic love truly is. You know, what is that quote? Love is patient, love is kind. Love simply allows and gives, it never controls. I think it's a Bible quote. I'm not sure. You might have to look it up. But this guide is here to help you make those necessary changes and overcome the obstacles that stop you from feeling good about who you are, that stop you from taking pride in the person you're becoming, that stop you from feeling motivated towards your own growth, because this guide is here to help you be your very best and be the person that I think that you don't even realize you can be yet. I feel like you've been very, very hard on yourself, and you've had a hard time finding good things about yourself. And this guide is here to say, no. Pile 3, you are the shit. You are amazing. You have so many wonderful qualities. You are so deserving of everything this world has to offer. And the only thing that's stopping you is your belief that you're not deserving of it. How are you going to cultivate it? We'll see. But it starts with setting intentions. It starts with getting in that direction. So I think that what this guide wants to work with you first and foremost is planning. What goals do you want to achieve? Who are you intending to be? How are you going to invest in yourself? Movement, exercise, eating healthier. You're eating like things like diet, exercise, things like that. Those can be very impactful on your mood, on your health. Those might be things you want to pay attention to. Pay attention to what you're consuming as well. You might want to shift. Like, if you're consuming things that are more negative, maybe you should explore different areas of the internet about cultivating self-love, how to find more confidence, easy meal prep, anything that you're interested in doing to improve yourself. I feel like this guide is encouraging you to explore and start trying new things, because this is essentially why this guide is here. This guide is here to be your support system while you go through this journey of becoming your best self. And the best part of this is that because this process is never going to end. The more you invest in yourself, the better it's going to feel to do that even more. And you're just going to look back one day and just not even recognize the person you are now or the person that you were. And you're going to have so much compassion for the person that you are now or the person that you were, because you're going to recognize that it takes hard ass work to be the person that you want to be and to get there. And you're going to have a lot of compassion and understanding for other people, but stronger boundaries towards what you will and won't tolerate, because you're open to receiving the good and rejecting what is not for you. Healthy self-esteem. That's really what this guide is here for. Healthy self-esteem, feeling good about who you are, feeling worthy of the blessings that the world has to offer, and recognizing that you deserve so much more than the external world has led you to believe. So let's go ahead and get messages from them, because I've just been talking about why they're here. But yeah, this guide definitely likes flowers. So if you put flowers in your home or something like that, or even draw them, or you see flowers around, that's definitely a sign of them. I definitely feel like they like the color pink. And rose quartz actually is a great stone for unconditional self-love. So you might want to invest in some rose quartz. Okay. That's significant. I'm going to put that there. Okay. So what else does this guide want to say to pile 3? We have the 6 of Swords, we have Judgment. We have the 7 of Cups and the 4 of Swords. I think we need one more. One more, Spirit. We have Justice, yes. And on the back of the deck, we have this is the King of Pentacles. Okay, I'm gonna shift these over a little bit. Oh yeah, you are gonna be the best version of yourself, because this is like, yeah, this is beautiful energy. And it's happening, whether you like it or not. In fact, there may be multiple guides helping you along this process, but I do think that there is a specific guide that maybe your other guide's called in to help with this. But I'm gonna start with these 2 cards because they came out first, and I think that they're very important. The Knight of Wands in reverse really talks about somebody who is destructive, impulsive, doesn't take accountability, may lie, may make excuses, may use people for their own gratification. So even if you weren't in an abusive relationship, you could have been in a relationship with someone who took you for granted, who lied to you, who possibly cheated on you, who made you feel like you were nothing, who made you feel like you weren't worthy, who made you feel like crap. I feel like this person could have lashed out on you because they couldn't look at themselves accurately. I feel like this person tore you down to lift themselves up. So even if they're not like a romantic relationship, I feel like there's a significant relationship in your life that has been there to help you awaken to your truth. And now I don't say that to be like, oh, this person like this is not like, the universe didn't overtly send this person. It's just, unfortunately, there's an abundance of people like this, and like, unfortunately, those people serve a purpose in helping us recognize what kind of energy we don't want in our life and what kind of energy we do deserve. And I think that if you're still in this place, this guide is saying that you're being led to a massive awakening. And the more that you follow this journey of self-love, the more you're going to realize how below this person, I don't like to see people as like above or below, but like how much this person tore you down to make themselves feel better. I don't know if you've ever heard of the concept of leveling, but leveling is essentially like when somebody, rather than meeting you with where you are, ascending to your level, they try to tear you down in order to bring you to theirs. And so in this case, your guides are saying, like, even if you still have pain, even if you're struggling to move on from the situation, you will. Because with this 6 of Swords here, you're ready to move forward. You're ready to move beyond this. Like, after the 5 of Swords is the 6 of Swords. And the 5 of Swords is not an easy card. It talks about conflict. It talks about, you know, that winning or losing attitude, that combative, defeative energy that can be really shady and really snaky. But your guides are saying you're moving forward to calmer waters if you haven't already. And it's through this process that you're going to have a huge awakening if you haven't had it already. I feel like for some of you, it's already happened. For others, you are on the cusp of it, but you'll know it when you have it. Judgment is not a card or an energy that you experience that doesn't impact you at an insane level. One angel that may be specifically watching over you is Archangel Gabriel, but also Archangel Raphael. But specifically Archangel Gabriel, that was the one that came through the strongest. But with that being said, you're moving beyond the negative energies. You're moving beyond these toxic people, these toxic circumstances that were not serving you. Thank the past for teaching the lessons it needed you to, and thank the past for getting you where you need to be. You don't even have to thank it, you can just accept it. But healing from your past is hard. And one thing that your guide wants you to know is it's okay if you don't know what the next step forward is. It's okay to be confused. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be unsure of yourself. What you truly need right now is rest. Rest and time with yourself. Time that is invested in yourself. With the Four of Swords here, this is all about rest and healing. And as you heal, the path forward will become clearer and clearer. And not only that, if you want a genuine, loving relationship, it's this healing path that's going to bring you exactly where you need to go. Or if you're already in a relationship, you're going to have awareness of what you need to do. And if this is something worth salvaging, if they're willing to work with you, or if this is something that you need to move forward from. You'll either move forward together and grow, or grow apart and move forward yourself. It's kind of up to you guys, and you can want something to work very badly, but you can't force someone to heal with you or to grow with you. And unfortunately, you have to do what's best for you. And this journey is all about doing what's best for you, not what's best for everyone around you. Because I think one thing that you've been used to as well is making sacrifices for other people, people pleasing, and doing what makes other people happy because that makes you more comfortable. But you're on a major journey, my dude, and you're just starting it with this Fool card here. But this is coming up to the King of Pentacles, and I actually want to get the book and read what the King of Pentacles says in it. I don't normally do this, but I felt called to. So this must have some sage wisdom for you. And actually what's really interesting is that this is a very feminine deck. Like, even though the knights are represented as men, the kings are represented as women, and they're called the sage. So let's see what the Sage of Coins has for you. The Sage of Coins invites her next supplicant to sit before her. A lifetime of work and experience have transformed her into a skillful healer. She has perfect knowledge of the human body, energy, nature, business, and money, and understands how all of their components are woven together. Her wisdom radiates from her being, and she is compelled to bring her gifts to the world. And upright, it represents mastery, wisdom, giving forth, healing, and financial security. This is the future that you are cultivating for yourself. This is the future where you are heading. It may not need to be that specific. You may not be a healer. You may do something else. But you are a healer in the sense that you're healing yourself. And you're going to get there. And one thing that you need to know is that you don't need to worry about anyone getting their comeuppance, anyone getting their karma. The universe does that for you. And this Justice card is all about trusting the universe to do that for you. I literally see this as like, this is you and these are your guides, like making sure you get what you deserve, and also getting you in the energy to be able to advocate for yourself what you deserve. Because the thing is that your guides can't magically produce carbon and, defend you and make things happen for you. Co-creation with spirit is called co-creation because you've got the carbon, you've got the ability to manipulate the physical realm. They can't do that. Well, they can in some ways, and they can assist you, but ultimately you gotta be the leader in your own life, and they're leading you to be the leader in your own life. And there's going to be a lot of clarity when you do that. I feel like if you've been someone that has felt more comfortable following others or relying on others to tell you what to do, this is going to be a really empowering journey where you learn that you are the leader in your own life and you don't have to let other people assert their will over you, that your will is just as valid and just as powerful as anyone else's. This is all about understanding the nature of healthy romance and inspiring you to rely on yourself, because at the end of the day, you came into this world alone and you will likely leave this world alone. But that's not to scare you, it's just to make you recognize that this healing journey is lifelong. And you're gonna have highs and lows. There are gonna be times when you are so in love with yourself, and there are gonna be times where you can't stand to be in your own body. And that's just kind of part of the healing journey. It's part of life. And you don't need to be afraid of it. You just need to embrace the fact that this is gonna be a journey, and it's gonna be a journey that you take until your last breath. With this Sage of Coins, you know, the woman in here, like, she's clearly seen some shit. She's grown, she's learned, she's wise. She's a sage, and she's a sage of the physical realm. And I think that's partially what your purpose in here is. And you're starting out this innocent, sweet little being, and you're gonna finish this wise, strong person that knows what they're about, that is able to take care of themselves and rely on themselves and be a guide for others to help them do the same. Your journey is incredibly inspirational, and your voice matters. Your voice matters so much. And the more you cultivate energy in yourself, the more you focus on what it is that you need to heal, or what it is that you need to be the best version of yourself, the more that you'll realize how powerful you are, how needed you are, and how special you are, and how special your journey is. Your journey is all about ascending. It's all about awakening to the truth of your soul. It's about awakening to the truth of you, and recognizing that you're like wine. You just get finer with time, and like, you are just going to continue to be the best version of yourself. You're going to continue to grow and awaken and inspire others in the process. You are an amazing person, Pile 3, and this guide wants you to know that they are not going to leave you until they are confident that you can rely on yourself to take care of yourself. But I feel like this guide will still check in. This guide honestly kind of has like a Nanny McPhee energy, in the sense that like, she leaves once she's no longer needed, but they're gonna be with you and help you as long as you need it. And that's kind of her role. She comes in to help people grow and help people love themselves, and this is this guide's purpose. So I think lotus flowers, rose quartz, roses in general, like anything rosy, anything that you love and feel drawn to, you can really feel her presence in nature. And I think, like, especially if you feel disconnected from nature, going into nature more could really help you with that. I also think that this journey is going to help you cultivate more respect for feminine energy. Like, no matter what your identity is or what your biological body is, you know, we kind of live in a culture right now that doesn't really respect femininity and feminine energy. And I think that this process is going to help you embrace your feminine energy, no matter who you are, and also balance that with masculine energy and recognize how there's strengths in both, and that you can utilize both to be your best self. And yeah, you're going to do amazing things, sweetie. I don't know what else to say other than I'm really proud of you. And you are going to be, like, a year from now, you're not even going to recognize who you are now. And you're just going to be in a much healthier place, a much healthier space, and you're just going to be able to relate to others in a healthier way. And the universe is always going to have your back, and always help you get what you deserve, and help you cultivate what it is you deserve. For some of you, it could be a life path 11 or a life path 2. I would look into that if you're not, because a life path 11 is just an amplified life path 2. But if you are, I would look into that, because it might give you some direction for healing. But you're ready to change, you're ready to grow, and you're ready to heal, and this guide is here to help you with that. So I think that's all they have to say to you. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to advice. But I just have to say, Pile 3, I'm so damn proud of you. I'm so proud of the person that you're becoming, and I cannot wait to see, or I guess in my case, feel the person that you become. But feel free to let me know about your healing journey. You know, I don't always respond to messages, because I get a lot of them and I get overwhelmed. But if you just ever want to let me know how you're doing, I love to see y'all thriving, and that is my favorite thing in the world. But we're gonna go ahead and start. Yes, you are glowing. All eyes on you. Receive attention and affection. Your energy is magnetic. Yes, I'm telling you, the more you focus on yourself, the more you will glow from the inside out. Roald Dahl talks about this in the book The Twits. You know, he talks about how it doesn't matter what your appearance is. If you think happy thoughts and are a good, kind soul, it will radiate from the inside out, and you will always be beautiful. But we also, okay, I'm gonna short circuit. That actually freaks me out a little bit. So we have Rose. I'm telling you, this guide is associated with roses. And it says compassion. The trigger statement is I am unlovable. And the true statement is I am love. Oh my God, that hit me so hard. Your heart is healing and expanding with love. Spend time showering yourself with that love and then share it with others. I want to cry. Yeah, this guy loves you so much, and you're so worthy of this healing, and that freaks me the fuck out, man. But and you would think, I see people comment sometimes you're literally a tarot reader, why are you shocked when what you say resonates with cards? It's man, I don't know, I'm just being fed words, I'm half here, and I don't know, when you get syncs like that, it's just I don't know, I'm fucking human, leave me alone. Compassion again. Compassion is my compass. I am willing to hold space for the experience of others. Yeah, compassion for yourself and compassion for where people are at is so helpful, because you can't change situations, you can't change people, but you can have compassion and hold space for them and recognize that it's not your responsibility to help others heal, but you can hold space for them. I think if you identify with being an empath, the biggest challenge for you, and when you do this, you will realize how fucking powerful you are, is to be able to hold space for people without taking on their emotions. I promise you it's possible. It's not only possible, it's something that every empath should and can achieve. It makes their life a lot easier as an empath. I don't like to say that because there's so much stigma. I need to talk about that in a video, because I feel the understanding of that is just so convoluted. But yeah, compassion, yeah. Surrender your fear of intimacy. You are ready to let love in. Compassionately identify and begin to release any patterns that stop you from opening your heart. Yeah, word of the day for you guys is compassion. We have listened to your heart. You're the only one who has the answer you're searching for. Quiet your mind and listen there. Yeah. This is, I don't know, this is on point. That's all I got to say about that. This guide that is in your life is cool, and I love them, and they love you, and they love me too. Thank you. But yeah, this journey is all about you cultivating love and recognizing that having a loving heart does not make you weak or vulnerable. It actually makes you a strong motherfucker. Because listen, most people are not strong enough to hold love for other people. They're not strong enough to bear their emotions. They're not strong enough to be compassionate. It takes strength to be in your emotions, to stand in your emotions, and to be your authentic self, and to be kind towards others. Listen, it is not easy rising above and being compassionate, but it is worth it. And you just have to remember, when you think I am unlovable, the true statement is that you are love. Your heart is healing and expanding with love. Spend time showering yourself with that love, and then share it with others. You're exactly where you need to be, Pile 3. I am so proud of you, and you've got this. So I'm gonna leave your messages here. These are pretty on point. The one that freaks me about this rose card, though, I do just have to say, really quickly, where's the deck? There's 90 cards in here, and I pulled one. What are the fucking odds of that one? Yeah, that one got me a little bit, but okay, yeah. So that's all I have. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for watching my ads. That is the simplest and easiest way to support me, but if you would like to support me in other ways, you can like this video, you can comment down below, let me know how it resonates, you can subscribe if you haven't already, and click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading if you want to be part of the notification squad. I also have social media, which is linked below, though do be aware there are tons of scammers impersonating me on Instagram. So just be aware that I am not offering personal readings, and I will not slide into your DMs to solicit a personal reading from you. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. If you're going to my social media, I would either just go directly from my YouTube channel to it, or, make sure it's actually me, which you should be able to tell, but still. And I have merch, but that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you and letting me be a part of your energy. You are so powerful, you are so strong, and you're just a lovable ass person. So I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, pile 4. If you guys chose this Labradorite sun and moon, this is going to be your reading. I love how that lines up so adorably. Like, this is you and this is spirit, your extension of spirit. So anyway, let's go ahead. You guys chose the Apparition Tarot. We will look at that to look at your messages. But first, I want to see the guide that is coming through, just to know who's going to be relaying these messages. So to start, we have Gnosis. I'm probably saying that wrong, but hopefully I'm not. We have Aquarius. I know. We have Kanaz, creativity and knowledge. And we have I am a creator. We also have Panther Spirit, reclaim your power. And finally, we have, I'll explain this card, Prostitute, accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. And the shadow attribute is placed as material considerations and security above self-empowerment. And we have Hermit. Seeks solitude to focus on inner life, serves personal creativity, and the shadow attributes are withdraws from society out of fear of negative judgments from others, refusing to help those in need. So this is actually not a specific guide. This is kind of spirit itself, your entire spiritual team, your higher self, any unconditionally loving divine wisdom that is conspiring for your highest good, essentially. And this is also partially you, and this literally makes so much sense. Let's talk about you, pile 4. You are an extension of God, and for some of you, saying the word God might be like triggering or like, ugh, what? But when I say God, I don't mean like a religious, a specific religious definition of God. When I say God or source or things like that, I just mean the omnipresent, unconditionally loving force that is behind all things, behind all creation, and you are a unique expression of the universe, of divinity. You are literally a miracle in the sense that there is nobody like you. There is nobody that is, okay, I have beef with people that are like, we're not special, like, and it's true. In a lot of ways, humans are similar. Humans are, you know, common, but there are lots of ways in which humans are unique. And the biggest way in which humans are unique is that nobody else on this planet will experience things at the exact same time, in the exact same way, in the exact same path, and have the exact same experience as you. You are unique because you will have a unique individual experience that is necessary to help the divine understand itself. And what's really, really cool is that I think that you are on a path of enlightenment, a path of self-discovery, and a path of learning about the universe. There's a lot of mysticism here. I feel like you are getting deeper into the occult, getting deeper into mystic truths, mystic wisdom. And not only is it fueling your creativity, but it's also helping you feel more connected to the universe, kind of dampen some of that existential dread, and help you recognize that there's so much you don't know, and that there's so much that you have yet to learn. I feel like if you're not spiritually awakened, you're about to be, and when you do awaken, it brings about a lot of uncomfortable truths that are actually really freeing to embrace. I feel like you are pulling away from mass consciousness, and recognizing that we know so little, and that we really are, like, as humans, very full of ourselves and think that we know a lot more than we truly do. And I think that you're seeing through a lot of the bullshit that society puts out there. You're seeing a lot of the fact that there's a lot of limited truths out there that a lot of people accept, or things that people accept as truth that maybe aren't the full picture. I think essentially what I'm trying to say is that the more you learn, the more you recognize that you don't know, and the more peace you're finding with that. This is Spirit saying that they see you, that they hear you, and they're encouraging you to continue this journey that you're on. Because the more you follow yourself, the more you follow the mystery that is life, the more you're being empowered by the divine, and the more opportunities you have to create more light in the world, to create in general. And creations can be anything, by the way. They don't have to be sold. They don't have to be for a function. They can be for yourself. They can be inanimate. Like, you're just creating. You're literally in the process of understanding the universe, understanding God in its truest form, and the fact that you'll never truly understand God in its truest form. You're learning about like divine paradoxes and the recognition that we are all so much more than we think. There's so much more to this world than we assume, and that there's always something deeper going on. There's always something more to the story. And I think that you're learning to become comfortable with the idea that you'll never fully understand. It's not something that any of us simpleton humans can fully understand, but the more we commit to it, the more we realize we don't know, but the more we can embrace the mystery and utilize that mystery to create valuable things and understand the rhythms and the way that the universe operates. The universe wants you to know that you have a very powerful vision and your creations matter. And the more that you indulge in what fascinates you, especially when it comes to like occult knowledge, I think one thing that's popping out specifically is sacred geometry. Another thing that I think any like philosophical text, metaphysical text, like anything that's out there, anything that's different, anything that challenges your point of view, I think is going to be something that inspires you. But you're literally learning how to co-create with Spirit in the purest way possible, where you recognize that like you're almost like a divine cog in the machine of life, and there's beauty in that. There's beauty in that experience. And you're recognizing your own divinity and the fact that you are special. You are an expression of the divine. And the fact that you are consciousness inside a body is absolutely miraculous. The fact that you're here in this time, understanding what I'm saying, learning concepts, like that's an incredible and amazing experience. And while it's very hard to be separated from the outside world, you're recognizing that you're more connected to the world than you ever thought. And not only that, you hold so much more power than you realize. And with this Aquarius card being here, I know your mind is expanding so much. And with this Panther Spirit, you are reclaiming the power that has always been yours to be, to create, to understand, to learn, to relate. I mean, this is just beautiful. This is beautiful. This is you recognizing that there's so much more to life than you. But that doesn't mean your experience is less valuable. It doesn't mean that your creations, your perspective is not important. You're recognizing that because you are a part of this universe, that you are so special, that you are so divine, and that every other single creation is as well. And I feel like you're learning how to have more respect and compassion for all beings. And I think a big one is tolerance for all beings, or learning how to not allow the will of other beings to take away from your inner truth. Because I think the difficult thing about having this perspective is that there are a lot of people that don't have this, that will not understand this, and that may ridicule you, that may misunderstand you. But you're recognizing that your soul is not something that anyone can take from you. It's something you can sell, but I think you're recognizing that your spirit is more powerful than anything on this physical plane. I mean, this is really like advanced energy in the sense that like you have such a powerful mission on this earth. And let's be real, when I say advanced energy, anyone on this planet can access this, but they have to be willing and they have to be open-minded. And a lot of people are too afraid to let go of the preconceived notions or the things that they were taught, because denying what they've been taught as reality is an incredibly scary thing. But I think for you, that's something that excites you. It's something that sets your heart on fire and makes you feel passionate. And the universe is supporting you in doing this. This is your purpose. Your purpose in life is to be a member of life, to live, and to do whatever you want to do, whatever makes you feel passionate, whatever you want to learn about, whatever you want to create. The world is literally your oyster, and Spirit is coming through to say, hello, you are a member of me. We love you so much, and we just want to support you on your journey of becoming your best self and, you know, being a member of this great mystery of life. And you're really being encouraged with this Hermit card here to find a balance between input and output, learning and being, thinking and loving, doing and not doing. But there's genius within you. You've got some creations that are ahead of your time, or that you will bring about in this world that are ahead of your time. Spirit wants you to know about yourself and wants you to recognize that you are powerful. Your perspective is powerful. Your ability to connect concepts is powerful. Whatever gifts you were given have empowered you for a reason. And the universe wants you to know that you've been chosen for this path. And here's the thing, you were chosen for this path, but you never had to choose it. You also have to choose this path, and I think that you have. And so you're gonna learn a lot about divine paradoxy, because that's just huge. Like, the divine is so paradoxical, and it's maddening. But it's going to be so freeing, because a lot of the limiting beliefs, a lot of the things that you were taught are no longer going to define you. And nobody will be able to take away the beauty of you. Nobody will be able to take away your knowledge, your wisdom. No matter how tough life gets, nobody can take away your spirit. Because you're seeing your power, you're knowing your truth, and you're also divinely protected, because you're not only acting in your best interests, you're acting in the best interests of the universe. You're actively trying to help others. You're trying to create and add things to this world that are going to make it better than when you first came here. And that's a really beautiful and noble endeavor. You have genius within you, Pile 4, and I want you to know that. And, you know, just the fact that you're this beautiful little Labradorite just goes to show that the universe, you are the universe. You are always going to be supported. You matter. And there is nothing in this world that can take that truth from you. There is no dogma. There is no regime. There is no indoctrination that can stop you from knowing your truth. Once you're awakened, you really can't go back. And this is kind of evidence of that. But the more you learn about yourself, and the more you learn about life, because you will learn about life through learning about yourself, and the more you create and just be and do, the more you are going to reclaim parts of yourself that you thought you lost. The more of yourself you are going to be. And as time passes, you're just going to realize that you're just becoming more of you, and that's such a beautiful thing. I think you're learning how to come out of survival mode and recognize that, like, even in challenging times, there is still inspiration to be had, beauty to be seen in all experiences and all circumstances. Maybe not in the moment, but afterwards in reflection. But I feel like, yeah, this is spirit in general wanting to talk to you and wanting to acknowledge the path that you're on. So if this is not resonating, I would try a different pile, because this is a pretty specific, not a specific energy in the sense that not a lot of people will resonate with it, but this is kind of an energy with either you resonate with it or you don't. And it's okay if you don't. There's nothing wrong with not resonating with it. But if you ever feel drawn to this pile, come back and see if you do. You might have a bit of a different perspective. Okay, so we are going to shuffle your tarot cards now. The funny thing about this is, like, this, I would say, like, of all of the spreads, is the most complex and simple at the same time. And it's like, and that's how the universe is. Like, the truth is beautifully simple. And sometimes we have to go to complex lengths to find it. But, yeah, okay. Let's just see what Spirit wants you to know, because this is really Spirit coming through. I would say angels specifically. A specific angel would be Archangel Metatron. I would look into Archangel Metatron in sacred geometry. I think that's really one place where if you're not exploring, I think you would get a kick out of that. Okay, well, let's go ahead and see. Spirit, what do you want to say? Okay, we have the Three of Cups. What do you want to say to pile 4? We have the King of Wands. What do you want to say to pile 4? We have the Six of Pentacles. We have the Ten of Swords. We have the Five of Wands. We have the King of Swords. And on the back of the deck, we have the Ace of Cups. Okay, yeah. This is beautiful. All right. So this message is probably going to resonate more for people who have just recently awakened spiritually or just recently had this shift in awareness. For those of you that have been on this path for a while, this may just be more so reminding you of why you're doing this, reminding you of your truth, and reminding you of where you were. And maybe you can take pride in the fact that, like, you've come a long way. But starting with the Three of Cups, one thing I do want to say is that, like, when you reach this perspective, you'll definitely start to feel more like you're in a simulation. And I feel like this Three of Cups is saying, embrace it. Embrace the fact that it feels weird. And embrace the fact that what brings you joy can and will change. But celebrate the fact that you've reached this point. Celebrate the fact that you've let go of fear enough to be open-minded to whatever the universe has to offer you. To be open-minded to the truth, your truth. Because the truth is not everyone's truth, it's your truth. And there's a lot of joy to be had there. And I feel like the universe is saying that the more you embrace this life that you're living, the more it will help align you with like-minded individuals who will support your path as well. I will say, like, that happened to me through tarot. So, like, whatever you're doing, whatever you're creating, whatever you're putting out there, it will naturally align you with people that have your perspective. Like, if I never started tarot, like, I can't even imagine that. I've made, like, literally the best friend, like, the best, I've met the best people, experienced the best people, like, through this, and man, it just makes me so grateful. And I'm not gonna talk about it anymore because I'll cry. But with the King of Wands being here, the universe is reminding you to reclaim your power with this Panther spirit. Whenever you see a Panther, it's a reminder to reclaim your power. Because with the King of Wands, you know, that's the most evolved suit in the wand suit. And the wands are the most connected to spirit. And so spirit is really telling you to take charge in your own life and to be brave, be bold, be you. Don't be afraid to be silly. Don't be afraid to laugh at life. Don't be afraid to laugh at the things you can't control. And maybe not in, like, malicious ways, but, like, you know, if you need to laugh, like, if people are being mean to you and you need to go back and, like, laugh at their perspective, maybe don't do it to their face, but, you know, go home, laugh about it. You are growing so powerfully, and your creations and your perspective will inspire others to do the same. You're empowering so many people without even realizing it. And the universe wants you to know that it will support you as long as you continue to follow this path. I mean, the universe wants to support you anyway, but when you follow this path, the universe is very generous in return. Like with this prostitute card, like I kind of see these in the same light. Like accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. As long as you follow your spirit is an extension of spirit. And so as long as you honor that, the universe will support you. They want to remind you to never place your material above your empowerment, above your security. Because what is security worth if you're not you? You are one of those people that is just too real to be anything other than yourself, because you're authentic. You're authentic to who you are, and being authentic to who you are makes you an authentic to your truth, an authentic expression of the universe. And so the universe supports that more than anything. And this may be an uncomfortable process. This may be an uncomfortable experience. But with the Ten of Swords here, the truth of the matter is that now that you're aware of this, you really can't go back. I mean, you can, but you're going to be deeply unsatisfied. That's kind of why you got on this journey in the first place, is because you knew there was something greater. You knew there was something more. And the most challenging part of this now is learning to accept the fact that you can't share this with everyone. You literally can't. And even if you tried to, they wouldn't understand you anyway. I think one of the hardest things for people who recently awaken, and I experienced this as well, is I just wanted other people to validate what I was going through and see things from my perspective. But you really can't see things from this perspective unless you are experiencing it yourself. It's not something that you can relate to if you haven't been through it yet. And so with this Ten of Swords being here, there's an ending of looking at life through a lens that isn't complete. You're looking at life through the spiritual lens, through an awakened lens that you didn't have before. And I think one thing that Spirit is telling you is to be careful who you talk to this about with, because you might be met with opposition. You might be met with resistance. You might be met, in fact, it could even be dangerous. So be careful who you talk to about this. But also, Spirit is telling you that it's okay to feel conflicted about this. It's okay, even in a group of awakened people, not everyone's going to agree with each other. You know what I mean? Not everyone is going to see things your way. Learn to have acceptance instead of trying to force or change anything. You can't force or change someone's perspective. And, everybody has their own experiences. Even once you're awakened, it doesn't mean that, you're going to view things the exact same way. We're all unique expressions of the universe and all are valid. But with this Five of Wands being here, you don't need to fight to prove your point. The fact that you have your perspective makes it valid. You don't need to prove it to anyone. You don't need to be a part of the chaos. And with the King of Swords being here, your biggest downfall is going to be your mind. The next leg of this journey for you is learning how to train your mind. Because with the King of Swords being here, you see how these two images are separate. The biggest thing that separates us from our fellow man is our mind. The biggest thing that unites us with our fellow man is our heart. And the more you tap into your heart, the more you tap into your soul, the more you tap into the beauty and wisdom of Spirit, and the less credence you give to your brain to talk you out of your experiences, the more empowered you will be. Because the human mind has a very hard time understanding this process. And that's almost kind of why it's difficult to communicate your experiences, because it's just something that the mind struggles to comprehend. And that's because it's something that goes beyond the mind. The mind is a tool. It shouldn't be something that rules us. People with very logical perspectives, logic is great. It's not something that we should completely get rid of. But there are many things about the universe that completely defy logic and that completely defy what makes sense. And the more you try to make sense of this experience, the more you try to make sense of the universe, the less it will make sense. And you could get stuck in a pattern of trying to over-intellectualize things. And Spirit's saying, you don't have to understand all the time. You don't have to be able to explain. You just need to experience and be open and find comfort in the fact that you may not understand. It's through being an extension of the universe that you will truly understand it more. And with all this creation energy here, the universe is just trying to empower you as you move along on this journey. In fact, the more you try to understand all of this stuff and try to put it in terms and look at life in ways that make sense to your logical brain, the less connected you'll feel to your truth. And I think, I'll just say this from personal experience, I don't want to speak for you, but like, I know that sometimes I really struggle with this perspective. I really struggle with letting go of my logical mind. I feel like the logical mind like brings a lot of comfort sometimes, and it can bring a lot of skepticism, and skepticism is important. Skepticism is healthy, but sometimes it can detach you from your truth and kind of hold you back from living. And I think Spirit is really saying here, you know, just because we live in a society that applauds logic doesn't mean that that's the best way. It's just what our society, it's just what the greater public applauds and approves of. And it is what's that quote that's like, it is no accomplishment to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. Remember that. Because one thing that you're going to realize is that the more you kind of dive into this hole, the more isolated you feel. And it's going to be difficult at times. You're going to relate less with other people, just the more you go about this. You're going to, and for people that have been on this process for a long time, I'm probably not saying anything you don't already know. This is kind of more so for the people that this is kind of happening to. But for the people that have been on this journey for a while, it's a great reminder, because you can still get stuck in thought patterns. You can get stuck in, you know, societal energies and things like that. And it's always a great reminder that like we can always open our minds to a deeper truth, and there's always something that we're not seeing. And I think with this King of Swords here, there's a lot of wisdom to come from not understanding things and just allowing life to be. And when it comes to your knowledge, trust that there's no one way to learn. You can learn through so many different ways, not just in a book. And this type of knowledge, this type of learning never ends. The more you are on this path, the more you will learn. And the beautiful thing is that this literally is a process that doesn't end. There's never a time where you are like, oh, okay, I fully understand the universe now. Because like, I don't think the universe even understands itself, you know? It doesn't. But especially us little humans and our little brains and our little meat bodies, like we're not gonna understand the greater wisdom of the universe. Like that's just not, we can understand portions of it, we can understand parts of it, but I think your brain would explode if you tried to fully understand it. And that's kind of the beauty of the great mystery, you know? And I think what your guides are really saying, what Spirit is really telling you is, you don't have to think like other people, but don't allow the fear of thinking differently to stop you from being different, to stop you from being unique, to stop you from creating what you want, being the person you want, and evolving and ascending. Like, don't let it stop you. There are people that are going to not understand you. There are going to be people that ridicule and judge you, and guess what? That is entirely a reflection of them and says nothing about you. The more you know yourself, the less people can tell you anything about yourself. And really, when people try to tell you about yourself, it just tells you everything about them. And it's actually really fascinating. Projection is a cool thing. But essentially, this is the universe applauding you and supporting you for how far you're coming, and to just remind you that this process never ends. The ones that say they know don't, and the ones that say they don't know do. And the more you follow that path, the more wisdom you'll gain, the more inspiration you'll have, and the more connected to the universe you'll be. And so with the back of the deck being here, with this Ace of Cups, your heart, as long as you follow your heart, you will always be overflowing with abundance, opportunities. And abundance, I don't mean just abundance in a material way. I mean abundance in awareness, abundance in knowledge, abundance in growth. And with this Ace of Cups here, I feel like there's just so much love to come from this path, and like you just have no idea the amazing things you're going to do. Like you are just going to be overflowing with love, and there's going to be times that are hard. With this Three of Swords underneath there, there's going to be times that are hard. Life ain't easy. It is never easy. But with that Ace of Cups being here, you'll always be redirected to love. And the truth of the matter is that you are love. That's really all the universe is love. And when you really get to it, I'm oversimplifying things, but essentially, you're just kind of being encouraged to continue down your path. Don't be afraid to continue being you. Be your own leader. You don't need anyone to validate your experiences, because I promise you, what people don't understand now, you might be inspiring generations that come long when we're gone. You know, you never know what the genius of today will inspire those that come tomorrow. And you are perfect. You are divinely created. You are perfect in all of your strengths and all of your flaws. Don't get too caught up in your head about this. Just continue to be, and work on reining your brain and teaching it to work for you rather than to allow it to rule your perspective. Because your purpose on this planet is to learn more about it, to learn more about being a part of spirit, to learn more about the universe, and to create whatever you feel called to. Whether that's humans, whether that's art, whether that's a business, whether that's literally anything. You can create anything. You're a creator. You can create whatever you want. You can create tons of different things. You can create one type of thing. The world is your oyster, and you can do whatever you set your mind to. And the only thing stopping you is the belief that you can't. This path is all about empowerment, all about trusting yourself and recognizing that the universe is on your side. And whether you can or you can't, you're right. So I think that's all I need to say from Spirit. So let's go ahead and get some advice. I do also just want to say though that like, you know, life is hard, and sometimes you'll be disconnected from your truth. Sometimes things won't make sense, but you'll always be redirected back to love. And at some point you'll always understand at some point, if not immediately, someday. Things make more sense over time. And yeah, the universe had a lot to say to you, so let's just get into it. You are enough. You always have been. You always will be. Release attachment to relationships and achievements to feel worthy. Yeah, this is like so much more. This is not about doing something or being something. This is just about being you and having the experience of life. So we have Pentagram, and the subject is independence, and the trigger statement is, I am just like my blank. So mother, father, could be anyone. But the true statement is, I am free to choose. You are ready to break free of the conditioning that has bound you so that you may continue your journey of healing and growth. Yeah, this is an excellent, yeah. You're learning to be you and be the beautiful person that you were always meant to be. And that's just so wonderful. That's just so awesome. I'm so proud of you for taking these steps. We also have happiness is a direct reflection of how quickly I can shift my perceptions from fear to love. yes. And here's the hard part. Like, the hardest part is that you're gonna have to still deal with like life and perspectives that differ from yours, and you're really not gonna be able to defend your perspective. But the thing is that you don't have to. Your perspective speaks for itself. Your experience speaks for itself. You don't need anyone outside of you to validate your experience. You don't need anyone outside of you to validate your truth, because the universe will, and you will. That's all you need. We also have all is well. Everything is working out for my highest good out of this situation. Only good will come. I am safe. And that is so true. You are safe. We also have new beginnings. An exciting shift is on its way. A new job, project, promotion, or home is in the works. And we also have meditate. Meditation is powerful and can help you see clearly, remain calm, and become at peace with yourself and what you desire. Yeah, and the more you, and listen, meditation doesn't have to be just like sitting and doing nothing. Like, there are many different forms of meditation. I would encourage you to find the ones that help you. And that's what's gonna help you overcome a lot of aspects of your mind. And finally, we have surrender to your intuition. Tune into your inner voice. Be aware of any gut feelings, flashes, knowings, or aha moments that come through to guide you. Yeah, because that's spirit. And you'll be able to see more clearly and see the truth. And I feel kind of bad because I feel like I couldn't fully channel this, or like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. I'm proud of you, Pile 4. I think you're doing great things, and it takes a lot of courage to think differently and to open your mind and to, you know, not limit yourself and not hold yourself back out of fear. It takes a lot, and you're a badass, and you're a divine being, and I'm just so damn proud of you, and so is the universe. And I just hope you do all the things and learn all the things and have a wonderful life. So Pile 4, I am gonna leave your reading here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for watching my ads. That is the simplest and easiest way to support me and my channel. But if you would like to support me in other ways, you can like this video. That helps a lot. You can subscribe if you haven't already. You can comment down below. Let me know how it resonates. You can, what else can you do? You can check out my social media, though do be aware of a lot of scammers pretending to be me on Instagram. I do not offer personal readings. I will not try to solicit a personal reading from you in your DMs. If someone says they are me and they're offering you a personal reading, they are a scammer. If you want to make sure you're going to my social media, I would go directly from my YouTube channel where it is linked. Because I've got like probably three to five scammers pretending to be me right now. And I also have merch, but that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much to the universe for allowing me to channel it, and thank you so much for being here. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye!